Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Veteran Gamers podcast. It's going to be a spoiler show on Life is Strange. And I'm joined today by Antonio.
Hello there.
Hello there. You want to introduce yourself? Tell people who you are if they don't know.
I am not a podcaster. I am a YouTuber. I won't say my name because that's self-plugging unless you want to. In that case,
you just...
I'm sure Stuart will put it in the description or whatever of this podcast.
Logo away. Just go for it.
All right, I'll do my side project. My side project is GHAMVs. It's one that I'm more personal with, since I do work for another company where I upload. But enough about that. We're here to talk about Life is Strange, because I have a lot to say, or at least I did when it came out. Hopefully it's still in my head.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, we've had quite a few of these types of games running up to this. You know, obviously the Telltale.
Yeah, I finished that as well, actually.
Yeah, Telltale were the experts at this with The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us, amongst other things. And then obviously they did a lot of games prior to that, but they were the ones that really set this kind of format of game in stone. And up till now, there's not been many other companies that have sort of tackled this kind of genre, really, which it is now, I suppose. It is a new genre of games that started with The Walking Dead. But Don't Nod decided to take it on and do a more... I guess I'd call it intimate kind of story, really.
Yeah. Have you heard of Don't Nod before this? Because I think they made Remember Me. I think
they did, and I played that. I played it. I didn't finish it.
Quite average, to be honest.
Yeah, it was okay. It had glimmers of sort of goodness. You know, there was some decent stuff in there, but it just didn't grab my attention long enough to finish the game. I did play probably about... I reckon I was probably about 4 or 5 hours into Remember Me, so I have played that game.
I only put about an hour into it, only.
Yeah, I played about 4 or 5. What disappointed me, though, was there was a lot of talking up before the game of these sort of dream sequences, or not necessarily dream, but where you go into people's memories and alter them.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and in sort of theory, you know, when you heard about it, it sounded like a really cool idea, and then the game would be really interesting. But when it was actually in the game, it wasn't as sort of dynamic as I expected. It was kind of very scripted stuff. And also a bit finicky. You know what I mean? It was a bit sort of finicky to do. You were faffing around, sort of looking at stuff and then setting stuff up, and it took a little bit of messing around, and it wasn't that interesting at all. So that sort of suffered as a result, because I thought that was going to be a much larger part of the game and what would make things interesting, but it kind of didn't, unfortunately. So they went away and they decided to make an episodic game, which again seems to be an interesting thing that people are starting to do now, other than, like, say, Telltale. And also there was a lot of controversy at the beginning of this, because it took a long time for them to get a publisher.
All right.
Are you aware of this?
No, I first heard of this when the announced trailer came out.
Yeah, it took them a long time because a lot of the companies wouldn't take it on because it had a female protagonist.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's a little sign of how the business is ran in the gaming world then.
Yeah, they went to a lot of publishers and a lot of them rejected it because they wanted a male protagonist in it as opposed to a female one. And it wasn't until they went to Square Enix who went, "No, we're fine with it. We think it's interesting." They got someone to actually publish the game, which is very cool. And I feel like as well that Square Enix didn't really get involved with any of the game sort of producing process. I think they just sort of let them get on with it. I don't think they sort of meddled or anything. So that's kind of a cool little bit of background for the game there.
Cool.
So let's start with obviously episode 1, which was called Chrysalis, which is the beginning of the game. It was an interesting start because you start sort of... It's kind of one of those games that starts where it ends.
Yeah.
I guess, to an extent. What did you think at the beginning? Because you start off like on a mountaintop near a lighthouse, and there's not a lot to do, really.
No, well, I didn't really have too much to think about that bit, because it was just, all right, I'll try and learn what I can from where I am. And you don't really learn too much about it till near the end, I think. At least, clear, concrete evidence of what that is.
Yeah.
That you're seeing.
What sort of implications it has.
But
yeah, and then
I was kind of excited to experience a high school, since I'm currently still in a sort of high school environment, but obviously in Britain. And I always like to see how game developers do that and see how well they do that. And I thought they gave off the essence of being in a high school well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously been in a school a long time ago because I'm an old person these days. But yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, and I mean, and then obviously you wake up. It's kind of a bit of either vision or dream or something, and then you wake up in the classroom, and you sat at your desk really in a class, in your sort of photography class. And one of the first things you task with, it then starts sort of what I guess you consider the tutorial. And one of the first things you have to do is take a selfie.
Yeah, and then you get a little talking to by your teacher.
Yeah, he picks up on that and then asks you a question which you obviously don't know. I wonder, is it? I can't remember now. Is the correct answer one of the options?
I don't remember. I remember the answer the Daguerrean process, I think it's called.
Yeah, but I don't think you actually.
No, I don't think it was.
Yeah, you get the option because obviously you don't know the answer, so you wouldn't know it. So yeah, so you do your dialogue, you have a bit of a chat with the teacher, and then obviously he berates you for not really paying attention.
Yeah, and then he drops the you haven't submitted a photo to the Everyday Heroes contest on you.
That's right, and also there's Victoria answers the question, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Which is one of, for me, I've got to say, Victoria, I found one of the more interesting characters in the game. I found her quite interesting. I didn't like her, but I thought she had an interesting dynamic.
I was curious because that kind of character archetype is very cliche in the medias that I watch. So I wanted to see how they do it. And I think, again, they did it well. I think that Victoria was an interesting character.
Oh, yeah, and she was a definite mean girl. You know, she was the girl that had it all and obviously looked down her nose at pretty much everybody else in the school. Which I kind of found that an interesting dynamic. So anyway, you do that, and then you can go for a wander and chat to a few people. Kind of, you go down the corridor and etc. And then you go to the toilet.
As you do.
As you do, because obviously you need to go to the toilet. And this is where you first meet Nathan Prescott. And he sort of comes in. You're sort of hidden around the corner, and there's a butterfly. You have to take a picture of the butterfly, don't you? Which is quite important, I guess, to the rest of the game. Really.
And then that also drops the how you can get it's achievements on Xbox. You know, if you take an optional photo, you get an achievement and a little collectible thing.
Yeah, how many of those did you do? I was rubbish.
I think in total I got 10.
Yeah, I didn't take loads at all. I took some. And when I've been reading, I mean, obviously before we did the show, I went back to look through some walkthroughs just to remember what happened. And I was amazed at how many optional photos there were in the game. There was a lot.
If you go into the scrapbook, which I want to talk about later, because I thought the scrapbook was awesome.
Yeah, you see, I didn't look at that much, so that'd be cool.
It's really good, because we're on it now, so I'll talk about it. So the scrapbook is a way of keeping track of what you've done and who you've met, but it updates as you go, and the backgrounds of the pages change, so the drawings change, the doodles change, and also the text changes. So if we were to reload the last part of episode 5, it would be so much bigger, more vast than episode 1 of each character.
Yeah, I get that. That's cool.
Which I liked.
Yeah, you see, I did look through it a little bit. When I was playing episode 5, I think in between play sessions, I did go and have a look at it just to sort of see what was in there. Because as well, I used that a couple of times, which will obviously come to, I think it was episode 4, where you have to piece together.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The board, which I thought was really, really cool, but you had to go in the scrapbook to look up stuff that had happened to figure out what you had to do, which I thought was kind of interesting.
And also, the optional photos, if you haven't got one, it has a kind of hint on it, in a rough drawing of what is there, which gives you a little clue of what you wanted, what it's supposed to be. So let's say you want to go back and get all the photos and 100% the game, technically 100% it. You can use that as a guide, or obviously cheat, but Why do you want to cheat? Why do you want to cheat? You're playing a game for a reason.
Who cares, though, really? I mean, if you're one of these people, let's be honest here, if you're one of these people who are what we term achievement hunters, who want every achievement in the game, they're either going to do that or they're going to go on a walkthrough and have a look where all those optional photos are and just do them all. You know what I mean? That's kind of what's going to happen. So anyway, you can mess around in the washroom. We've talked about that. You can turn the tap on, You can turn the tap on and all that sort of stuff. And anyway, then Nathan Prescott bursts in and he's looking very agitated. And then what turns out to be your best friend in the game, Chloe, comes in afterwards. So they sort of come in. I mean, what did you think about this scene? Because I'll be honest, when what happened, I was a bit like, whoa, what the hell is going on? What is this?
So when she got shot, my instant thought was, no one heard this? You're in school.
Yeah.
Normally in schools in the UK, you can't go for a pee without someone knocking on your door going, "Ee." So true, it was the girls' toilets. I don't know if there's a different etiquette in there, but I'm pretty sure someone at least near, because when you walk out, the principal's near the door. So how the hell did he not hear it? But
yeah, but no, but that doesn't happen, does it? Because you can't. As from what I remember, you don't walk out of the bathroom at that point, do you? It's only after you've rewound time. Because this is where it first shows you how the rewind time powers work. I mean, let's be honest as well. By the time when you get to the end of the story and end of episode 5, you still are no wiser as to where the powers came from or why you got them in the first place.
Hopefully, there is a season 2. If they do, though, it wouldn't be about Max and Chloe. That'd be
and to an extent, I don't suppose it really matters how you got them. It's kind of just a vehicle for the game to work, I suppose. So it doesn't matter where you got them from. So then you rewind for the first time, and you have to, but it doesn't rewind just to the bit before because a lot of the rewinding during the game is only really about maybe 10 to 30 seconds back, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's only short. But this rewinds you all the way back to the classroom. So you're back in the class at the beginning of the game again, aren't you?
Exactly. And then the teacher asks you the question again after you take a selfie, and this time you can show him up and say, I know what it is.
Yeah, because obviously you remember from...
Or not, it's your choice, obviously.
Yeah, from Victoria giving the correct answer the last time, so you know what the answer is. So yeah, you say the Daguerrean process. And then you can talk to the teacher, and you have a bit of a conversation with him. You talk about the competition, don't you, about sort of the everyday hero competition, and then you go back to the bathroom again. And this time you've got to be quick, haven't you? Because obviously everything plays out as it did the first time. Mm-hmm. Nathan Prescott comes in, and you've got to get the hammer, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then you smash the fire alarm. That sets off, saves the girl. Nathan panics. He does a runner. And then when you come out, you get accosted by David for the first time, who's the security guard.
But you'll see him more later.
Oh, yeah, we get a lot more of David later on. And I think he was an interesting red herring, to be honest.
I liked him. Let's be honest. I didn't like him, but I liked the character.
Yeah, and I think...
Again, the main reason I like this game quite a lot is because a lot of the characters I find relatable in my life, which I don't know if that's what they were going for. Probably, I think they'd be going for that. Because we'll go on to it later about Chloe and her stepdad, but I know quite a few people who have that exact thing with stepdaughter relationship.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think what's interesting, I think they made the characters very relatable, and I think that's one of the major plus points of the game. I think they tried to do that both through the design of the characters, because there's none really that are very stereotypical of video games.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They made them all fairly normal.
Yeah, they could have given Max, the biggest rack of breasts possible, but to appeal to the main demographic, but they didn't.
Yeah, and she's meant to be... I mean, the character's 18.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether you're aware of this, but she's 18 in the game. But
her birthday happens in the game.
That's right, yeah. But she could be younger. She could be younger than that. When you look at her, she's quite a young-looking girl.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other thing as well that I would say is that, for the relatable thing, they tried to do that a lot through the dialogue as well. The way the dialogue was...
Use today's lingo talk.
But I don't...
Crazy.
I don't think it always kind of worked.
Way too many hellas.
Yeah, and whether that's just because, they're a French developer and, some of it was a bit lost in translation. I don't know. I mean, it is, overall, it's well written, but there are some moments when I was playing the game where I thought, oh, man, if I hear that hella one more time, Do you know?
I had that. I had that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, and I'm glad that they tried to do it. But I don't, a little bit like David Cage. I don't think, but obviously nowhere near as bad as that.
Yeah, there's no bit where you're running in like a park yelling Chloe. That's not.
No, there isn't. There definitely isn't. But I do think overall they pulled it off. But I think there were moments where I was like, oh man, and it did get a bit tedious. So anyway, yes, you sort of talk to David, and then the principal comes along. He intervenes, and this is kind of the next sort of major choice, or the first major choice, I guess, in the game, isn't it? This is the first one, really. So which did you go for? So you can either report Nathan that he had a gun and shit went down, or you can kind of hide the truth and not tell the principal anything. So what did you do?
I thought I'd report him since my thought process was, even if it he doesn't believe me, he at least has that suspicion now.
Right. Okay.
So it seems Max has never really spoken out before, so it'd be all weird for her to speak out now.
See, that's weird because I did the exact opposite at this point. I was like, fuck that, I'm not telling him nothing. You don't tell the principal anything, man.
Yeah.
And also, I felt that by withholding that information, I had something on Nathan that I could maybe possibly use later on. Do you know what I mean? But
fair point, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't. Do you know what the repercussions of this were?
I try to remember what happened with me. Because, Nathan definitely found out and got bitchy and said, like, I'll fucking kill you, Max, and stuff like that.
Yeah, do you know, there's no major repercussions of this particular choice until the end of episode 2.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, so this determines, when you're in the principal's office, which will obviously come to in episode 2, but in the principal's office at the end regarding...
Oh, right. Yeah. Because, all right, yeah, I remember. Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit.
So depending on what you said regarding Nathan will depend on whether the principal believes you or not.
Ah, right, there you go then.
If you decide to blame Nathan.
Oh, there you go then.
So there you go. So that's kind of an interesting... Because I had a look, there was a Reddit, interestingly, that had all the consequences of all the decisions you made.
I should check that out. Well, actually, hopefully I'll learn them all now. Hopefully.
So, not all of them. It only went up to episode 3, unfortunately. Oh. But I was like, that's kind of cool. So, so that's the repercussions, but obviously we'll come to that later. And then you can just talk to loads of different people at this point. You go outside the...
Which I did.
I
spoke to everyone I could.
Yeah, because you've got to try and get close to people. And you can use, obviously, at this point, you can start using the rewinding time thing to get more information out of people, because obviously you can add extra bits in. Did you do any of that?
I did, yeah. I think it was with Brooke, the glasses Asian-looking one, is what I did that with.
Right.
And I was playing around to have a bit of fun. It's like, there was a bit when some cute-looking girl walked past in the game, so I was like, oh, hold up, come back. Have a look, please.
And did it work?
Thank you.
It worked?
Well, I don't think she noticed, because I don't think she was programmed to do anything else besides walk.
And also, you're a girl as well, but that doesn't make any difference.
No.
You know what I mean? So then you head over to the dorms, and then there's people you can talk to here in the area. And then you can, Farron, you can talk to Kate. And then you notice Victoria and a sort of gang are blocking the steps. Victoria and the Mean Girls.
And the ironic thing is, it is 2 other girls as well.
Yeah, of course, like it would be. So you need to get them to move. So it's a little bit... I found some of these sorts of puzzles a tiny bit tedious.
I was struggling a little bit because someone wouldn't move to let it happen.
Yeah, because you had to go... So, yeah, you talk to the janitor who comes across as a little bit sort of slow, doesn't he? Yeah. So he's a bit slow. And then you've got to... I can't remember what you make it. You have to make him do something, don't you? He has to go away so you can tamper with the paint bucket.
I might be wrong, but I swear you mentioned something about an animal outside. I swear.
Yeah. There's something, I can't remember, but you distract him somehow, then you mess with a paint bucket, and then the paint falls on the girls, including Victoria, doesn't it?
It's like a more tamer version of Carrie, if you've seen that movie.
yeah, with paint instead of blood. Yeah, I get you. That's kind of interesting. And then this is the next sort of major choice, isn't it? This is the next major choice in the episode, which is, do you make fun of Victoria or do you comfort her? What did you do? What did you go for? Did you? Frig me. No, I was like, there is no way I'm comforting that bitch. That's so funny. So why did you comfort her? Why did you go for the company? I mean, because she's horrible.
Well, because she's with her friends, and would she still be mean in front of her friends, even for a brief moment? I thought she would crack very briefly in front of her friends, and then you go, what are you on about? Vic, what are you on about? You hate her, right?
No, that's funny. No, I was the exact opposite. I'm like, I hate her already. I'm definitely making fun of her. But interestingly, I mean, as far as percentages go, I've been on this episode. I was quite low because on the Hid the Truth About Nathan, only 36% of people did that.
Mine's out of date. Mine's out of date. It says 33 on my phone. Out of date.
Right, 36% and 64 reported him. As far as Victoria goes, only 32%. Made fun of her, so I was in the minority.
In this one, I was in the majority with all, apart from one.
Yeah, see, I was the opposite. Apart from one, I was the opposite. So I made fun of her. Now the repercussions of this, you know what the repercussions of this are?
I do not.
Well, basically in episode 2, you know where she trashes your room.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, if you make fun of her, it's trashed way more severely than it is if you didn't make fun of her. Yeah. So she trashes it all the same, but just not quite as bad. So anyway, you sort of get in then, so you can head to your room. You can take pictures of yourself in the mirror. So it's another one of the optional photos. You can interact with stuff. And then you sort of head down.
That was one of the biggest choices in the game here, though. Did you water the plant?
No, I did it. I did water the plant, but I only think I did it about 3 times throughout the game. So I'm assuming my plant died at some point.
Oh, I'm looking through the site, like all the little choices that you can make, because there are lots. And did you let this guy called Daniel draw you? Because I did.
No, I certainly don't.
There's also this teacher called Mrs. Grant who had a petition, which I didn't even notice her.
Right. Never saw
you
that.
can erase what's on Kate's slate, so it's probably like
I did that. I remember doing that.
And there was
there was one with a penis on it. I don't remember. I rubbed that off as well.
And there was one. There was a girl called Alyssa who comes back multiple times to be needing help, and I helped her.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking at like the little. So there was a main choice like slate and a little choices slate at the end of each episode, and that's what I'm looking at now. The little choices.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of those, weren't there?
Yeah.
And then you go into Victoria's room, don't you?
Mm.
You go there and you sort of you can check various stuff, and it's the USB stick you're after, isn't it?
Yeah, from Warren, I think it is, isn't it? Is it Warren?
Yeah, is that from Warren?
I think it was, because I swear she looks at it and like acknowledges what he watches, and then I noticed that he had Akira, which is a good anime, on it, and I got happy. So
the next big thing kind of happens when you leave the dorms, and you go outside and you come across Kate and David like having a conversation, don't you, in the walkway?
Yep.
So what was your first initial sort of gut instinct to do at this point?
My gut instinct, because I have been in a situation like this before, actually, except I didn't. The other choice wasn't what I'd have done, take a photo, but I did intervene because no, don't mess with my friend, or I'll mess you up.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was the exact opposite. I took a photo.
Really?
Yeah, to begin with, and then I did feel a bit guilty because I can't remember how it plays out if you just take the photo, but she sort of runs off.
Yeah, so basically, she takes a photo and Max still kind of sticks out. She doesn't like hide and keep listening in. So Kate sees her and goes, "You didn't help me," and walks away.
Yeah.
She could have easily taken a quick photo and then ran and helped Kate at the last second.
Yeah, I did feel kind of guilty. I did. But then I rewound and intervened instead. So I did do the better thing. Secondly, well, first of all, it's like, I'll take a photo. Again, do you know what the impact of this scene is? If you're doing that?
I could probably think of later on with David, but I don't know about Kate.
Yeah, again, this comes back to the end of episode 2 when you're doing the blaming for Kate being like she is.
Oh, right.
So obviously, if you accuse David, if you took the photo, you can then use that as evidence that he was harassing.
Right. I'll mention that later, but I have something different with that. Principal bit. Okay. My principal bit's quite different.
Yeah, so you can do that. So you could have sort of blamed him and used the photo as evidence with the principal, and then he believes you. So there you go. So that's kind of interesting. So then you go talking to Warren.
Warren.
Yeah, you
Warren.
got to talk to Warren. I like Warren.
I
to
like
me.
him because
He was a lovesick
he's the most
puppy,
relatable character in the game for me.
Yeah, he was like followed around. You know, he was obviously in love with Max, and he would kind of do anything.
Yeah, even get his nut kicked in by a little preppy rich kid.
Yeah, which is kind of what happens. It's kind of because you meet in the car park, don't you, with Chloe?
Yeah, what do you think of that? What did you think of how you met your old friend? Literally, nearly being run over is how you meet your old best friend.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, and obviously, it's a bit of a weird moment in the game. I also thought what was kind of weird when I can't remember how the conversation goes when you save her. So when you save her in the bathroom, there are a few things said, and she said something like, "I've not seen you for ages," or something like that. I can't really remember.
It was January, I think, so.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. It's something like you've been out of town, or where have you been, or something like that, isn't there?
And then she looked different. Later on, you see photos just before they start speaking to each other, and she had different hair and looked quite different. So I'm surprised she recognised Chloe.
Yeah. Before she went, sort of did a runner.
Yeah, with Rachel Amber.
That's right,
again,
Rachel Amber.
Come to later.
Yeah, Rachel Amber's kind of the crux of the game, really.
Yeah, and it only over time does it feel like she becomes the crux of it, really.
Yeah, crux of the game.
You never see her apart from once.
Yeah, and she's always kind of in the background.
Yeah, it's always the name that's said in the background, you know. Even when you're speaking, someone else is saying Rachel Amber somewhere.
Which is cool, because it's what obviously makes the game a bit mysterious,
it's like a phantom,
isn't
it? It's like she's a phantom.
Yeah, it's like The Killing. Do you ever watch The Killing?
I have.
Yeah, so it's kind of a bit like that, isn't it? It's like you're never quite sure whether you're ever going to find out what happened to her. Which is kind of interesting. I like that. So anyway, yeah, so there's a bit of an altercation. Warren gets beaten up.
Yeah.
In the car park, which I did feel kind of sorry for him at this point. Do you know what I mean? I felt a bit like
he's doing what he needs to try and get something from Max, a hug or anything. Yeah. If he got a hug from being kicked in, he'd be happy. I think.
Yeah, I guess. But again, like we said earlier, he would do anything for Max. You know what I mean? So anyway, that all happens, and you get in the truck with Chloe, and you go to her house.
Look around her house a bit.
Where you start smoking weed.
There's a bit of wake and bake, yeah.
Yeah, smoking weed, wacky backy. You go to the garage. She asked you to go to the garage for something. What was it that she asked you to go and get? I can't even remember now.
Oh, God. I don't remember, but I remember you can, read files. I think you try and look for anything about David, I think. I might be wrong. No, that's later.
Yeah,
that's later.
Because you put music on, don't you, as well? And I like music, and we should have mentioned this at the beginning, plays a massive part of this game.
Yeah, the soundtrack is really good. I've got it on my phone, most of the soundtrack. It's really good. I was impressed.
Yes, really good songs, but yeah, they're very cool songs. And, whoever decided what was going on this game as music really did a good job of it. So, yeah, you put a CD on. You can choose what you put on, can't you? Remember, you can choose which track to put on.
Yeah. I don't know what I put on.
I can't remember. Then you go to the garage and you do a lot of snooping.
Yeah.
There's a lot of snooping. And there's the bird incident. I've forgotten about that. The bird,
I didn't know you could say that.
Yeah, I did. I remember rewinding and opening the window and letting it fly out. So I did do that.
Yeah, it says on my thing, you let the bird die.
Yeah, I didn't. Thank God. I let the bird live. So you go to the garage. You sort of you look in the.
Oh, you were searching for David's stuff. You were searching for David because one of the little choices was you didn't leave any evidence of you being there.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that because stuff falls off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can either pick it up or just leave it.
Annoyed me, like the bit with the washing machine and the oil and stuff. I rewound that a few times.
Yeah, and there was quite because you have to put the washing machine on to vibrate the shelf or something. I can't remember. I remember putting the washing machine
Pure point and click style puzzles.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I would have said out of all the stuff in the game, probably the puzzles were the weakest part because some of them felt more frustrating than fun to do.
They didn't tax you in the right way, really. They taxed your frustration and ability to wait more than your brain.
Yeah, so you sort of read about Chloe's dad, David, or he's not dad really, stepdad, I guess.
Yeah. Step douche, I believe she refers to him.
Step douche, has been stalking Kate.
Yeah.
And you also find out that he's been monitoring the house, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have cameras set up all over the place?
He does, yeah, and obviously the school as well, but I think that's more of his job.
Yeah. This guy is a creepy dude.
He was he was ex-army, I think.
Yeah,
That's how he got
and I
trained.
guess this comes back, when I said earlier that he's a really good red herring because you know at that point I was properly convinced that he had something to do with all the shit that was going down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, he's definitely got to be part of all this shit going down. So anyway, then you sort of he comes home. If I remember rightly, I didn't manage to hide. I don't remember being able to hide.
I hid in her closet.
That's right, but I ended up just stuck outside, I think, when he came in. So I was just kind of there. so I was like, whatever. So he comes in, there's like huge argument.
Yeah,
about
with me, I could have stayed hidden if I wanted to.
Yeah, apparently that's the worst decision.
Shit, because I did that.
Yeah, that's the worst decision because she ends up getting hit, doesn't she?
That is true.
Whereas in all the other choices, she doesn't get hit by him. But I guess the other thing is, if you did stay hidden, that would reinforce the fact that you was thinking he was definitely the major suspect in all of this. You know what I mean? Because obviously you see him hit her. I took the blame, so I just stayed because I was just outside. And then obviously he said, "Who's to blame him?" I just took the blame.
Was that for the pot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. So you said you didn't take the blame or anything. So you just
a 2% margin blamed Chloe. How dare they?
I know.
Dare they?
I know. Yeah. So you just stayed hidden, which was kind of a less minority. 36% of people did that. So you were one of the 36%. And then I'm trying to remember what happens at the very end. You end up again at the lighthouse, don't you?
Yeah. I think that was the end. You end up at the lighthouse.
And you sort of walk along, and you sort of.
Ooh, actually, it's a cool little question. What do you think was the best cliffhanger?
What throughout the whole game?
Yeah, because I think episode 3 was just I can't wait. Nah.
Oh yeah, and obviously episode 4 as well. I think both of those are kind of almost on a par with each other. Yeah, the oh my god, what happened?
Because by then the story really was you knew what the story was going to, because episode 1 really just established characters, I think.
Yeah, and then they'll see. I mean, it was interesting. There were no real cliffhangers in 1, apart from the end, because you're with Chloe on the cliff top, aren't you? And then it starts to snow. So there's no storm, but snow comes down, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a bit weird, and then it just kind of ends. So there was no real major thing happened on that bit. So yeah, so that's kind of the end of episode 1.
The start of much more to come.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. At that point, I thought, this is interesting and it's pretty solid. I'm liking where this is potentially going to go.
Yeah,
and I think, like you said, the biggest interesting thing was just the characters. Just the way the characters.
Keep playing these games because let's be honest, The Walking Dead as a game is a pretty subpar, if not boring, game. But you play it for the characters.
Yeah, because the characterization is what makes it interesting. So anyway, start with Max asleep, so you wake up in a bed as her. And I remember it doesn't say this in the walkthrough, but I'm sure you could play the guitar.
Yeah, you could. She plays it really badly.
Yeah, I played the guitar for a while.
That made it even more relatable to me because I suck at guitar.
Yeah, so I did that for a bit. Forgot to obviously water the plant.
I did this time. I was quite happy.
Yeah, I'm sure I didn't water the plant. And then you go for a shower.
Before then, you can help that Alyssa girl again because she keeps coming up. I swear she's in every episode. She needs help.
Yep, she does. She gets a toilet roll on the back of the head.
I didn't help her this time because I didn't know I could.
Did you know? I did. I rewound time and helped her. And warned her. I warned her and let her not get hit by the toilet roll.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, you talk to Kate, and after that you go into, and then you overhear Victoria and a friend who come in and harass Kate while you hide. Mm-hmm. Sort of Kate goes, and then they leave the website.
Yeah, did you erase the website from the mirror?
I did.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, I did, because I felt kind of bad. I thought, God, Kate.
You're not a good
you know,
friend if you do.
No, and she's in a shit spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
She's
we should
obviously
really establish what actually happened.
Yeah, because and I don't know. I can't remember when it introduces that. It's not in episode 1,
It's
is
episode
it?
2, and from what I
Yeah.
remember rightly, they got her drunk and high, but it wasn't the normal kind. And basically, I think she was just making out with a lot of guys. I think, and just being.
No, she
Wasn't
wasn't.
it?
No, because obviously, no, she obviously gets taken by the sort of the bad person in this game. Obviously, that's what happens to her, as far as I know. So that happens, but obviously they are taking videos of her as well. I think
Yeah.
prior to that happening.
She got incriminating stuff was done, was taken of her.
Yeah. So there was some stuff, but obviously other stuff happened to her.
Yeah. That definitely does.
Other stuff happened to her. So you sort of, I rubbed it off.
Oh, did you tell Kate to go to the police or not?
No, I mean,
no.
because you have to get the book as well, don't you? You have one of her books.
Yeah, I didn't. Didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and then you have to do the rewind thing to clean it because it gets something on it, and then you get the book, then you go talk to her, and obviously she's talking about what's happened and all that sort of stuff. I didn't. I thought, with no real evidence.
Yeah, you're just barking up the wrong tree, really.
Yeah, so until we've got that, this could make things worse for her. Because if the police don't believe her...
Exactly.
That was my thought process. If the police don't believe her, then she's going to probably be in a worse spot than she is now. Although this, if you tell her to go to the police, this has consequences at the end of this episode.
Yeah, she gets very pissy with you if you don't say, go to the police.
Yeah, and it makes it tough.
Friend. Stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes it tougher for you to achieve what you need to achieve at the end of the episode.
All right, there you go then.
Yeah. If you tell us to go to the police, you don't really have to work at all to talk her down.
There you go then.
So, but if you don't, then there are some options that obviously make her do a dive.
Fair enough.
So that's interesting, but we'll come to that anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, you do that. You then leave. And then you sort of go outside. You can take a photo of the squirrel.
I did do that actually. Yes.
And is there someone with Is this the part where someone got a drone flying it round or something?
There was also a person called Taylor, and you could or couldn't be friendly to her or him. I think it's to her. And apparently, I wasn't friendly to her. So there you go. Don't know what was going on there, but I wasn't friendly to someone.
And this obviously makes a difference with the number of text messages you get, because you get text throughout the game.
You get text through the game, which kind of help progression. And also, if you're thinking like, where's this character? What's he doing or she doing? Then you'll get a little message.
Yeah. Then you go to the diner. Mm-hmm. You can take a picture of the whale sign on the diner.
I did that as well.
Yeah, I don't remember doing that. And there's another picture behind the diner as well.
Oh, was there? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, through the fence.
Was it a hobo?
I can't remember. Yeah, because the hobo. I was trying to think.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, I was saying I don't think it is the hobo, but I was going to say the hobo. When you're in episode 5, I was trying to figure out if he had some significance. Because you find the hobo dead, don't you, in episode 5? We're really jumping around here, but I guess it wasn't that.
When I'm great structure here. Shit.
Yeah. So anyway, you go in. You can go in the toilets, and you can take a picture of something on the mirror. I can't remember what it says, but there's something on the mirror. And then you have to. Chloe's mum comes over. You have breakfast.
Joyce, I think her name was.
Yeah, Joyce. Then Chloe comes in, and then she decides, which I think through the whole 5 episodes was the most tedious of puzzles to do.
Yeah, to show up. You had to prove that you are. That you could
rewind time. Yeah, that you could rewind time. And by doing this, she asks you to guess what's in her pockets.
Yeah, guess what's in her pockets. Then you have to guess what else happens in the diner.
Yeah, so the pocket thing is kind of obviously like a magician's trick.
Yeah.
Because obviously you get it wrong. She shows you what's actually in her pockets. Then you rewind time and then tell her what's in her pockets. So it's kind of a bit of it's like you're a magician. So you get all that bit right, and then she asks you to. Then she still doesn't believe you, even though you just told her what's in her pockets. And then she wants you to predict the next 30 seconds what happens.
Yeah.
And this took me ages and multiple rewinds and God.
Took me ages. This did.
Yeah.
I think it was the bit with the police officer that took me the most. think.
Yes, because something happens outside, doesn't he? He hears his radio go off or something.
Yeah.
And then leaves. I can't remember.
It's a long scene, so I'm guessing you'll hear. I'm guessing the person who's listening right now, you've played this game. But if not,
Yeah.
for God knows why, that bit takes probably the longest in the
is.
game.
It does. I hated this bit. Then you go to the junkyard.
Yes.
And then another tedious part ensues where you have to find 5 bottles throughout the frigging... And one took me ages. I was wandering around.
That was the closest I ever came to looking at a YouTube clip. I was like, no.
Yeah, I was just like, where the hell? And I found 4, and then there was one that I just could not locate, and I was walking around, and it was like tedious, and I was, ugh. So anyway, you do that, and then you have to shoot the bottles, don't you?
Yeah, bit of target practice.
Bit of target practice with the bottles. For some reason, because then Chloe discloses that she's stolen the gun.
It's David, isn't it? Or is it Frank?
Yeah, well, it's because when you look at the cabinet, I think in the basement where you find out David's and everyone, there's a gun missing.
Yeah.
And then obviously you find out where that gun is missing because Chloe has got it. So yeah, you finally get all the bottles, then you have to set them up. And then you've got to start shooting them, and then one of the next sort of major character that's in the game kind of turns up, which is Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Turns up, and he again, this is the brilliance of this game because he's a really, again, creepy, really not very nice person.
And I'm trying to remember what their relationship was in episode 2. I think Chloe owed him money.
Yes, yeah, because you can decide because. Don't you decide? Isn't it a decision either pay up or not pay up or something?
Oh, yeah, there's a bit with steal money later on, or not steal, obviously to pay Frank back. But
so you can pay Frank back if you steal the money. But yeah, you have a bit of a sort of argument with Frank,
and then you pop the gun up.
Yeah, you pop the gun up, and whether you shoot him or you don't,
I pulled the trigger. I would have.
Yeah, I did. I pulled the trigger, even though when you think about it realistically, an 18-year-old girl with a gun for the first time probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. I would highly doubt that. Knowing the character Max is would pull the trigger and happily injure someone like that. Or even kill if she messed up.
Yeah, exactly. But that does make a difference in the game because then he doesn't get the gun off you.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Yeah, he doesn't take the gun. But so you tried to shoot 57%. Did you ever rewind any of your choices and do them again? The only one I did.
Quite a few.
Yeah, I didn't. The only one I did was the taking the photo of Kate.
Only the ones where I really were like, I don't know.
Yeah. Apart from that, I just stuck with what happened, with what my choice was in the end. Which is kind of interesting. Yeah, no, I think I like to play games like that, like this, because I think, well, that's my decision. If it's wrong,
I kind of forgot about that a lot later on, being able to rewind big choices.
Did miss one major decision because it doesn't mention it here, because Kate phones you, doesn't she?
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Because Max says hurry up to come to the junkyard with her. I answered the call. I answered the call too, and apparently again that has major repercussions on the final scene of this episode. Right. Well.
So again, depending on whether you answer the call or not, depends on how much she trusts you at the end. So she goes, you're horrible. You didn't even answer my call.
So yeah. You're on about. Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah. So anyway, that happens. And then again, this is such a cool moment in the game, but they're made uncool by the tedious nature of the puzzle.
Yeah, for every good bit, like amazing bit, there's a little bad bit that's just kind of annoying.
Yeah. Because Chloe ends up stuck on the train track and there's a train coming, which is like the Penelope pit stop moment of the game. I don't know whether you know who Penelope pit stop is.
I'm afraid I do not.
No, it's a very old cartoon. And there was an evil character in a cartoon called the Hooded Claw.
Okay.
And his sort of whole thing was to try and kill Penelope Pitstop for some weird reason, and he would always put her on on a table with a circular saw coming towards her, or on a train track tied to the train track with the train, or whatever. And then there was another group called the Anthill Mob, who were like the goodies in the cartoon, and they would always try and save her.
All right.
So they would always save her. But when I think back about that had a horrible plot, that cartoon, because it literally was about this Hooded Claw with no real justification trying to kill Penelope Pitstop.
It's cartoons.
Yeah, evil baddie. But it always had this bit where it would cut to the saw, which was always seemed the same distance away, no matter how much time had passed. You know what I mean? Because she never got killed, obviously. It never actually chopped her in two or anything. But yeah, this was kind of because she gets her foot stuck in the signal box, in the signal thing, doesn't she?
Yeah. So you have to try. Well, I don't know if you have to change the train tracks because apparently 30%, including me, tampered with the rail tracks while 70 did not. So
Right.
yeah, don't know what you could have done then. Because what I did was I had to like break and enter into the control box room, then change the tracks.
Right. Okay.
I did to help Chloe.
Yeah, there was two ways apparently. One was there's a giant spool you can push, and by using the crowbar to move the wedges, allowing you to push the spool down the hill, smashing the device and move the tracks.
Yeah.
Or you can use the crowbar to enter the building, which is what I did.
That's what I did.
Yeah, and inside one of the drawers, a pair of pliers, take them down to the fuse bar and use them to move the track in a non-destructive way.
Fair enough.
That's the two different ways of doing it. But I'm sure I got the pliers and did it that way. But it was multiple rewinds.
Yeah, for me, multiple rewinds. Chloe died multiple times.
Yeah, so she died multiple times in mine as well. So I also made me think as well when I was playing the game, are there all these parallel universes where Chloe's still dead? You know what I mean?
I never
all these
thought about that until like episode 4.
Yeah.
About parallel universes in this game.
Yeah, are all these multiverses, you know, because obviously that's a big theory in time travel. So although things still happen, but just on different timelines. So each time you get it wrong, another timeline begins.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool for.
Yeah, so she's potentially dead in lots of multiverses. So anyway, that happens. You save her, and then you go back to the school, and you speak to Warren, don't you? Because you have to find out some sort of answers to a chemistry.
Yeah, I did. Well, I tried to help him, but I don't think I effectively helped him. Oh, you can also gain entrance to the Vortex Club Party, which counts later.
Yes, yeah, I did. I don't think I managed to get entry somehow.
I did. I don't remember how. I think I was nice to Dana. She was a character that you visit earlier in the game.
Yeah, I know I definitely didn't because I remember I had to talk because obviously there's a Vortex only bit at the back.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me in, so I had to find a way of sneaking in.
Okay, yeah. I was nice to Dana because I think she was having boy troubles, and I noticed that there's a bit where you can pick up a pregnancy test.
That's right. That's on the USB stick, isn't it? You see, I don't think I must have got that bit because I didn't get entry.
So me and Dana, we're tight.
Yeah, tight, man. You were friends. I wasn't friendly at all. But yeah, I did all the various options with Warren, and he did. But I think he blew something up at one point.
Yeah, some of me just blew up, and then that was it. He said, "Thanks, Max."
No, I just kept rewinding until I got it right.
I just like I can't deal with this
because you have to walk around the classroom and pick and find the stuff he needs, don't you? So I did. Anyway, I did all that.
But another major choice comes up next.
Yeah, this is kind of again. This was kind of shocking.
Yeah, you know, and my choice was even shockinger, I think.
Yeah, and I think what they did really, really well at this point was made sure that you just couldn't use your rewind time thing to sort it out.
Yeah.
Because again, you could only rewind to the bit where she's about to do it rather than before she gets up there, which I thought was clever. You know, it doesn't fit in with the rest of the rewinding time because it seems to vary from scene to scene how far back you can go.
Yeah, there's no set structure, but otherwise you probably abuse the game. Probably.
Yeah, so it didn't matter.
But she's dead. The minute she died.
Since she died, Jesus. No, I saved her.
And I was the nicest friend I could as well.
Yeah, because you answered the phone, didn't you? What was the other major choice you told her not to go to the police, which ends up with options of that she'll step back sort of thing.
That annoys me.
Yeah. I told her something about a family.
I did.
About your family cares for you and all that sort of stuff.
I did. Think of your friends and family, but she just went, all right, bye.
Yeah, no, luckily.
Yeah. Because she has some good scenes later on, I've heard. She has some good scenes.
She features a little bit. She's not massively in the game after that.
There's a bit in the hospital scene. There's a bit in the hospital which I really would have loved to have, but...
Yeah. So yeah, I say
that has a big impact on the school.
Yeah.
A big impact.
And 61% did. So most people did quite well, apart from you, because you were a bit crap apparently.
Yeah, I should not be a negotiator.
And then the final scene of that episode is in the principal's office, which obviously, depending on how you treated, whether you took the photo of David, what was
yeah. There's three choices here: Jefferson, Nathan, or David.
Yeah.
So I was Nathan. I blame Nathan since I've always been hot on his ass about him being naughty, and I think he believed me.
Yeah, you and 70. Yeah, he only believes you, like we said in episode 1, if you tell the truth, which you did.
Yeah.
If you don't, what happens is you get suspended from school.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so you get suspended.
Damn, that's a bit mean. You just lost your friend.
Yeah, because he doesn't believe you and he thinks you're a bit of an arse for trying to blame him with no evidence.
Bit sexist.
Okay. Yeah. So that happens. So what happened to Nathan? Did he get expelled or suspended?
Did. I believe he got expelled.
Right.
And, I remember Nathan saying, "Watch your ass, Max," like he does multiple times in the game.
Well, weirdly for me, I picked Jefferson.
Yeah, I feel silly when in retrospective because that made a lot of sense. Because he was being mean to her.
Yeah. So I picked Jefferson. Only 11% of people did that, so I was in the very minority on the choice that you could make in this episode.
But the reason I pointed at Nathan, obviously, because I believe he supplied Kate with the drugs.
Yeah.
Or the narcotic, whatever it was, that made Kate go crazy.
So yeah, I blame Jefferson, and as a result of blaming him, he's not allowed to go to the Everyday Hero competition.
Ah, really?
Yeah, so that's what happens if you blame Jefferson.
Oh, wow.
So in my game, he never came with me.
In my game as well, he didn't come with me.
Oh, does he not come with you in your game either? Ah, I assumed he must go if you did. All right,
but
okay.
I'll look into this afterwards, so I'm curious.
Yeah, so I blamed him anyway. So then we get to episode 3, Chaos Theory.
What was the cliffhanger? It was just like people in mourning.
No, there wasn't one. Yeah, there wasn't really a cliffhanger at all in episode 2 because it was just the sort of obviously the Kate suicide thing and then the principal's office.
I did feel a little bit poopy. I'm not gonna lie, I did feel a bit poopy about it.
No, I thought it was good. I mean,
not negative. I felt sad.
Oh yeah, because of Kate.
Yeah, because I like Kate.
Yeah,
I'd like to get to know her more.
You killed her. You were a horrible person.
It's only assisted suicide.
Yeah, I guess.
That's horrible.
So then, obviously, episode 3 begins.
Yeah. If I remember rightly, Chloe says we should go investigate the school. Because I think she was looking for her old files. Oh no, we were looking. That starts the Rachel Amber case. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where Rachel Amber starts. Yeah. I mean, in the first 2 episodes, you see lots of missing photos and like the missing person posters.
This is where I think the plot really kicks in.
But this is where you start to find out a lot more about Rachel Amber.
I remember when I saw like the preview photo, it looked like she was in Silent Hill with the flashlight. Yeah. When it says coming soon, it looked like she was in Silent Hill.
So you go to the school.
You see Victoria.
That's right, having a conversation with Mr. Jefferson. And at this point, I was like, oh, she's definitely boinging him.
Yeah, definitely trying to get something special out of him.
Yeah, to get obviously photos entered for the Everyday Hero thing.
What did you think about sneaking around the school? Because I thought it was pretty cool.
I did think that was cool.
And I like the puzzle to get inside as well.
Yes.
To that was the principal's office.
Yeah, let the door blow up, go inside, then rewind time.
Yeah, I walked in and did it. I was like, oh shit, I better rewind. Then the door closed. And went, oh yeah.
That's cool because I hadn't thought of it like that at all.
All right.
Because sometimes I did these puzzles and then I was like, oh yeah, of course that makes sense. Because you have to go and find the chemicals, don't you?
Yeah.
So you find all the stuff you need to make a bomb.
Well, in retrospect, there's a lot of fetching in this game.
Yeah.
A lot of fetching.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. There is. So then you're inside, then you start your snooping. This is where you find the money, isn't it? Where you can either take the money or leave the money.
I left it.
Yeah, I left it. I didn't take the money. I think I always sort of, when I play games like this, I always sort of play them as I would in life, I guess.
Yeah.
I
always do that with these kind of games.
I wouldn't steal in normal life, so that I'll just leave the money. And then you go to this, so you do all the snooping, and you find various files, don't you, on you find one on Kate. I think you read that. You obviously Rachel Amber. There's one for Nathan.
There's one for Chloe as well, and one for you.
And one for Chloe, and one for you. And you read.
I
You
read all
can
of
read
them.
through. Yeah, I did. I read all of them. I can't remember what was in most of them, or if they had any sort of significance.
It was interesting because I felt it was like backstory, but I don't remember anything pivotal.
Amber, I mean, because was there anything you found out about Rachel Amber at this point? I'm trying to remember.
Not really. I found out more about Max.
Yeah, because it says it has the reason that she left the previous school or something, didn't it? And all that sort of stuff. So that's interesting. And then you go swimming, which I really enjoyed. This part.
I love the scene, but if you go on my YouTube, mine glitched and Mac was invisible. So she had the phone in her hand, and that's all you could see.
Right, okay.
It was funny, but once you interact with Chloe, you go into the pool actually human, not a ghost. But I love that scene because it felt like they're friends again, you know.
Yeah, and you get and it was very sort of magical almost, you know, when you get the lights on the swimming pool, and you know, again, there's a bit of a tedious sort of puzzly thing. You have to walk around, find the fuse box, turn the lights on, where then you swim, and it's kind of an intimate moment where there's a lot of chatting going on, and really, really well done. And then you get is this the part with the kiss? Is this the kiss?
No,
part?
that was she.
Is that in the room afterwards?
She dares you afterwards. But a little thing from that. So I'm an internet person, you know. I make money from the internet. I live on the internet pretty much. There is so much fan art and so much really dodgy stuff of that one scene, and it makes me hate the internet sometimes.
I think it's interesting because this is obviously almost a juvenile sort of, you know, lesbian kiss in a game, I guess.
Yeah, I bet that got a bit of rise out of some people somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, what, did you do the kiss? I'm guessing.
Did. Yeah, because
I did.
I did both choices again. And the kiss one just seems more funny because because Chloe says, "Well, I guess I should tell Warren he's out of luck."
Yeah.
Oh.
And then there's the bit you have to hide from the guard comes looking for you.
That was David, wasn't it? Was it David?
Was it David?
Because I swear you drive away and
yeah, it's probably David.
Yeah, because David obviously comes back.
He's head of security for the school and what have you, for the campus. But yeah, you then have this sort of almost. This is repeated in episode 5 as well, where you have to walk around the lockers hiding.
Yeah. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So then you go back towards the pool, and then you do a runner, and you both escape, and you go back to Chloe's house. And this part was one of my, the swimming pool part was cool, and the following morning part was I really thought this part again was really well done.
Yeah.
You know, where you wake up and you put music on, don't you? Some music on.
It just feels like you're hanging out with a mate, really.
Yeah, really natural, really, really well done.
The kiss thing came out of left field, though.
Yeah. So there's kind of a bit of and I made the kiss, and you do the kiss, then you sort of get up.
Yeah, you get Rachel Amber's clothes on. No, you wear her clothes since yours are wet and dirty.
That's right. Yeah, God, I've forgotten about that.
And like Chloe was commenting on how it suits her, and I think it did. Wearing the plaid and jeans.
Yeah, it's kind of lucky that you were the same size.
Yeah, a little coincidental.
And then you go down, have breakfast. You have to get Joyce all the different ingredients.
Yeah.
And then she makes breakfast. And you can. Is this the bit where you read the paper?
Yeah. Because they're capitalising on Kate's death, or not, I guess. If
yeah,
I'm guessing every schoolgirl nearly commits suicide.
Survives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have much of a ring to it, does it? Well, then, schoolgirl commits suicide at school.
Yeah. So that's right.
But
then you have
David returns, doesn't he?
He does.
Returns.
He does. And you have to go to the garage for his computer, don't you? You find his computer.
You do, yeah. You do more sleuthing.
You're more sleuthing. And you have to look for the password.
Oh, yeah. That took a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how I did. I broke into something.
Yeah, I broke into a locker, I think.
That's right. I broke into the locker as well. Whereas apparently it's it's in his car under the sun visor.
Oh yeah.
On the receipt on a diner where he met Joyce or something. Because there's loads of red herrings in there. You find tons and tons of different things with dates and stuff on.
Yeah, a lot of it's
all over the garage. Yeah.
I didn't mind that though. I didn't mind that scene. A bit of sleuthing. I didn't mind it.
And I can't remember, what do you find on his computer? I can't remember now.
I don't remember. I was going to say photos, but I'd rather not say it and be wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember what you find now, which is terrible, but it's a long time ago we've been playing this game.
Yeah. What did you think of the release schedule of Life is Strange? Because episode 1 to 2 was quite a big gap, like many of these games. I remember. Then it became a more structured, right? Every 8 weeks.
Yeah, it was much better, I think, after that. I wasn't too concerned, to be honest, and I did enjoy it, so it didn't bother me too much. You know what I mean? I was, but like the last episode was a bit like, whoa, it's coming out, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty good. So you got the password, and then Chloe and David have a huge fight, and you can decide whose side to take.
Yeah. So I have one friend who I'm quite close with, who we played this together, but like on different consoles. He sided with David, and he thinks that's a much better choice. But I was with Chloe.
No, I mean, good Lord, you're not going to say who sides with David. I mean, and the percentages, say this, because 84% sided with Chloe and only 16% with David.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, most people. Then you go back to the diner, and you have to break into Frank's RV.
Yeah.
So you have to try and get his keys.
Did you keep his dog from harm?
I did.
Yeah, I did. I killed no innocent dog.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, again, anyone who did was very much in only 8% of people let the dog get hurt.
And that Alyssa girl was there again. You can stop her from getting splashed by the bus.
I didn't do that. I don't think I remember doing that.
But it happened at the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll help you.
Yeah, I don't remember that. And there's lots of... I remember finding the dead bird. There's lots of dead birds all over the place, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of foreshadowing in this game.
Yeah, lots of dead birds. Alright, okay. Oh, interesting. Right, okay. I didn't do this, but you can speak to a homeless woman. I'm thinking that's a hobo who's dead in episode 5, maybe.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, and that presumably, if you speak to her, that's how you potentially save her, maybe, in episode 5.
Wow, there are lots of little choices that we skipped over.
I know, yeah.
Lisa is alive. Yeah. You helped Warren. You are on the Vortex club list. You didn't change the club list. You didn't erase the cop's message, and you helped Alyssa. That's all we've had so far, little choices-wise.
Yeah, there's a lot, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, there is. You didn't warn the homeless woman.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's presumably why she was dead in mine. Because I remember finding her and going, no, she's dead.
Then the time travel thing really kicks in. Like, after this, doesn't it?
Yes, because at this point you do you snoop around Frank's thing. You find the stuff about Rachel Amber, don't you?
Yeah.
You find his diary, his journal or something, and he has all the sort of all his business transactions in it, doesn't he? He has the sort of all this cryptic
code names for certain customers.
Yeah, and they're all, I can't remember what the code names are. They're all weird, aren't they? Yeah, so you do all that stuff. And then I'm trying to remember what happens in this bit. You talk about the Prescotts with a cop, don't you?
Yes.
And stuff like that. So I can't remember this now. And that's how you get the keys in the end, don't you? You manage to get his keys.
Yeah.
And you have to keep rewinding time and walk away with the keys. And you go to Chloe, open the door, and then you look for loads of clues. And if you got the gun, it's there at this point in the RV.
Yeah. Chloe has David's gun in my game.
Yeah. And then you find out that he was actually Rachel Amber Light, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you? Because obviously up to that point you were assuming that she was sort of almost against her will because of the drugs and stuff.
Yeah, because don't know if we established Chloe is madly in love with Rachel.
That's right.
Madly in love.
Yeah, but then we find out that actually Frank and Chloe were kind of really close and that she didn't hate him at all. Which I've got to say, I found kind of weird.
I can see why you'd say that.
Yeah. And then we find out that Max has another branch of time-traveling powers that we weren't aware of.
Yes.
Yeah, because obviously, up to this point, we've only done the rewind time thing, and then we find out that if she looks at a very old photograph, she can go into the scene in the photo.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
Which was very cool, but only in that scene.
Yeah.
Only in that scene. And obviously this takes you back to a time when Chloe's dad was alive.
Yes.
Because obviously she's got a stepdad because her dad died in a car accident.
Indeed, when they were quite young. Quite young.
Yeah, and it happened while you were at her house, and he went off to pick the Joyce up because she'd gone to got the groceries and she needed a lift back. She phones him to ask him to come and get her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what happens. So again, you do a bit of toing and throwing and where to hide the keys so he can't go, so you can change the future.
Yeah,
and this is where,
I put it in water.
Yeah, that's where you have to put it, because I tried to hide it in the couch, I think, first of all.
In the cereal.
Or in the cereal. He finds it every time, though.
Yeah.
So each time you try and hide it, he eventually finds it. But until you drop it in the water and then he doesn't find it, I think.
He has like an electronic beeper.
Yeah, and obviously that breaks it. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't beep no more. And you save him, which you think is a good thing.
But
it turns out to be, and I guess this was kind of the most shocking moment of all of it, to be honest, for me.
So if I remember rightly, you open your eyes and you're in you're sat at the school in like a group, and Victoria's literally right next to you, and you say,
and she's nice as well.
Yeah.
She's nice.
Morning, Maxine. Sitting close with Warren of all people, I think it was.
Yeah. And is it the sun setting? The sun setting. And it's all weird and it's all nice and everything seems right and you're like, oh yeah, things are good. So everything's right with the world.
Go and see Chloe.
Yeah, so you decide to go and see Chloe. Turns out
you're pumped.
Yeah. And it turns out that you've not seen her for a long time either.
Yeah.
You've been a bit horrible.
I was super curious about this. So in this timeline, Max was a meanie to Chloe?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily meanie. I think she just maybe just lost touch with her somewhere. And also it made it sound like you've been travelling. You've been somewhere.
Also, during this bit, so in the next episode with the phone, I checked that a lot because you get to see how different this world is with the phone.
Oh, yeah, with the text messages and stuff. Yeah, because there's loads of text off Victoria and stuff on your phone, isn't there?
Proper being chummy, like, do you want to come out later, me and Warren and stuff like that.
That's right.
But yes.
I'll get, the dad, obviously the dad's alive. He's there. So at that point I'm thinking, it worked. He's obviously not dead. And then Chloe isn't a punk, no blue hair and all that stuff, but she is paralysed from the neck down in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Which was like, and I'll be honest with you, I sat there for ages.
Yes, I did. Because I Snapchat a lot because I'm a YouTuber and stuff. And I had so many people playing it with me. And, oh my God, we all freaked out.
It was, to me, this is probably still the best moment of the whole game. The Kate thing was shocking. But this was so shocking, and this was a real sort of like, oh my God, what the hell is going to happen in the next episode?
Exactly, and the wait, man. The wait.
Yeah. So anyway, that happened, and that was the end of the episode, and I was like thinking at this point, oh my God, that is awful. I thought that was genuinely awful, and it turns out, obviously, it's almost like the Final Destination thing, isn't it?
Yes.
He obviously, and I like the way they did all this because they started introducing the erasing photo thing, where the photos erase and then replaced with a different one, and obviously, she ended up having the car accident instead of her dad, so she was in the car accident, and which ended up obviously paralysing her.
Now, I'd go on record saying episode 4 is the strongest episode. I think. Yeah,
I would absolutely agree, and obviously the start of this episode in itself was again very shocking. I have to admit I did cry a little bit.
No tears were out, but they were close.
It was very emotional. The beginning, obviously, the episode opens with you
walking on the beach. Well,
yeah, with Chloe. With Chloe. Walking. Yeah, and I did at this point wonder how the hell she got down there. I must admit that did cross my mind.
I didn't see any disability ramps. What do you think?
No, it was I can't. And it was a huge cliff all the way around. So I was like, how did she get down to the beach? But anyway, that's besides the point, I guess. And you sort of just again, this is where Don't Nod are really strong in the dialogue.
Yes.
Because you're just having a chat with her. You're just talking about stuff.
So I'm guessing from that you think the voice acting was good in this game.
I thought the voice acting was excellent. I think some of the dialogue wasn't as great as it could have been.
I recognised.
Yeah,
I remember when I first heard Chloe, I recognised that voice. And went, where is that from? Then I realised it was Ashley from Hey Ash, What You Playing? And
Ah.
ironically, Hannah Tell, the voice of Max, I already followed on Instagram, which is kind of all weird.
Yeah, that is a bit
I
weird.
had no idea how that happened, but there you go.
There you go. But yeah, it was very cool. Again, some very interesting dialogue. I think again there was a lot of hella goods
Yeah,
and all that sort of stuff chucked in.
but there was definitely a different tone of voice with Chloe throughout that bit.
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah.
no longer
She was no
the
other full of energy, you know.
yeah bitchy punky girl that she'd become obviously in the earlier game. Because obviously she'd had the wind knocked out of her sails and she was paralysed. I mean, you can't even begin to imagine what that must be like.
Again, people who haven't played it, she was completely paralysed. She couldn't move anything but her eyes and her mouth, really.
Yeah, neck down. And then you go back to a room and you stay overnight, don't you?
You help her. You watch Blade Runner, I believe it was.
Yes, that's right. Very cool moment again in the game. I loved that bit.
Which makes him feel more human, you know.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to the interactions in the swimming pool and the morning after that as well. These very human interactions that are very believable.
Yes.
Believable, and again, that's what makes this game so cool. So morning rolls around, and then she starts telling you how much she's in pain. Can you get her morphine for?
You go and meet the father. I forgot his name.
That's right. Yeah, and you can talk to Joyce, can't you?
Yeah.
You do talk to Joyce. And again, they're kind of really sad interactions, both of them.
With it was mainly about just the bills they have.
Yeah, because they can't afford, because it's costing so much to keep her like that, and all the adaptations they've had to make to the house have cost so much money.
Did you go to
horrible.
There was a letter on the door with basically them being in debt. There was so many overdue payments.
Saw that.
Yeah.
Saw that. And it's horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, man.
Horrible. But very brave by the game developers to even have something like that in a game.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, you do all that sort of stuff, and it is horrible. Then you find the morphine in the bathroom, and her room's in what used to be the garage as well, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah, they converted it to have an ensuite as well, so that Chloe could use the facilities.
So, what was your first choice here? Because she wants you to help her.
I did one choice and stuck to it.
Die. Yeah.
Chloe asked, put me out of my misery, doesn't she?
Yeah, I did the don't know first. I did try and put her off.
No, I didn't.
But it doesn't make any difference.
I didn't think it would.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. She says, so what did you go with then?
I put her out of misery.
Yeah, I did.
But,
as well.
I was there for about 10
horrible.
minutes. No, what a lie, 10 minutes. Literally. I don't know. It was hard, man, but they executed it really well.
Yeah, and you have to then look into another. Is there another photo? I'm trying to think how you get back to the normal timeline.
So you look at the exact. So basically, you're reminiscing with Chloe.
Oh God, right? Yeah, you go back. You go back into the photo again, don't you? And you let him take his car keys.
Yeah. And then
which again is horrible.
Then you dance around with Chloe, say everything's okay.
Yeah,
but it's not.
Not really. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a horrible bit of the game.
But you're back though. That's the main thing.
Yeah, you get back to the normal part.
When did you pop back in though? That's my thing. That's what I don't remember. When did you pop back?
I think you're in a room. Are you in a room again? I can't remember now. I think you're in a room again, aren't you?
Might have.
Because don't you, when you first pop into the alternate reality, isn't that from a picture that you find in a bedroom or something?
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I got you.
I think that's what happens.
Because, I remember you were in the dorm, and then you're with Chloe. I remember now. Yeah, I remember what happens next now. You go to the boys' dorm, don't you? You go to the boys' dorm?
Yes.
Yes, I'm following.
So that's where you find that I'm trying to think what happens next. You have to go to the garage again, didn't you?
Yes.
Is it in the garage?
Yes, because there's a bit where you have to access David's files, and apparently I didn't find the code. I did it another way.
Oh, that's right, because they're in the locker. Oh, that's where you use a crowbar on the locker.
Oh,
That was a
yeah.
bit. What? Yeah, because again, this was a bit where you had to find the code, and again, there was tons and tons of items that might or might not be the code.
Hmm.
But I broke it with the crowbar. But then what I hadn't thought of, and I don't know whether you realise this, you could rewind time so it looked like the locker had never been broken.
I don't know if I did that. I'm going to say
I don't
didn't.
think I did.
I'm going to say I didn't.
I don't think I remember did that.
Mm.
And then you find files, don't you, in the locker?
Yes.
Is it files?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
Files, yeah.
So then you is it at this point you go back to the school?
Yeah, because you're trying to get all the evidence together. So you go to Nathan's room to
Oh God,
to get some more evidence, and apparently Kate can help you with this bit, but she didn't obviously with me.
yeah, she helped me. I remember her helping me.
Also, do you remember that I mentioned a guy called Daniel earlier who drew me?
Oh right, yes.
Yeah, there's a choice to motivate him to go to the Vortex Club party, which I did. And you see him later on. He goes, "Thank you, Max," and he's dancing with a girl. It's pretty funny.
Right, yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
So then you find a stash of secret items in Nathan's room, don't
Yeah.
you?
How did you break in? Because there might have only been one way, but I smashed the door in and then rewound time. That's how I broke in.
No, I didn't have to because Kate helped me.
Oh, really?
I think it's something that Kate did helped me get into the room.
Yeah,
I'm trying
I
to remember
smashed
now.
in with a fire extinguisher, then rewound time.
I don't remember doing that. I could have done, but I don't remember it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think now. I'm having a look on the walkthrough just to see where that happens.
So I definitely caved the door in and then rewound time. Not majorly, I just broke the lock.
I might have done that. I don't know. I don't remember doing that. So anyway, you take those back to Chloe. I can't remember what was in the secret stash. I'm trying to remember what was in.
I believe it was a phone.
Oh God, that's right. It's his mobile phone, isn't it?
With contact details, obviously, which you can piece together with the names, I believe, later on.
That's right. With the sort of drug deals.
Yes. So then you walk
Because
out. And then you walk out. Did you leave a message on Nathan's wall? It was on his slate, his little slate outside his door.
I don't remember doing that.
I think it was something like "screw you" or something like that.
No, I definitely didn't do that.
Um,
Yeah, because you can then start to piece together his dealings with Frank, can't you, and the drugs and the dates.
Before that, he catches you.
Oh God, yes, he does.
And then Warren just comes up, knocks him
Oh God,
clean out.
yeah.
Well, not clean.
Yeah.
Not clean.
Did you let Warren carry on?
I had fun
did.
with this on my YouTube channel. I overly edited it. Do you know what an MLG edit is?
No.
MLG edit is a comical edit where you over edit something and make it really dumb. So lots of filters, lots of effects, and I had it where I had that over the bit where Warren is caving Nathan in.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun making that.
But this was kind of an interesting one because this was very, very equal.
Mm.
And the same with the Chloe killing herself. Only 54% helped her and 46% didn't.
Really?
Yeah, so it's very, very close. And then the same with 48% carried on letting Warren beat up Nathan and 52% stopped him.
52 stopped him. Wow.
Yeah.
I let him continue. Get his anger out.
Warren, hate him.
Make it evil. Sorry, make it evil. Make it even.
Exactly. So anyway, you do all of that stuff, and then you go and see Frank, don't you?
Yes.
So you go to confront Frank at the RV, and this actually, apart from the taking the photo, was the only one I rewound multiple times to try and him not let Chloe kill him.
Yeah. So first time Chloe got injured, I think it was. The second time Chloe killed Frank.
Yeah.
The next time it was the same again, but plus the dog.
Yeah.
Again, that happened again, and then I ended up with just Chloe wounding Frank and then going, right, I'm going.
Yeah, that was mine. That was mine. In the end, that was
in the end, I threw the gun away. I managed to deter the dog, but he still stabbed. He still got stabbed with his own knife in the end.
Yeah. That's what I ended up having happen. So yeah, so apparently 25% wounded Frank.
Right.
Which is what we both did. 7% killed him, so only 7% left him dead. And I'm sure lots of people ended up with him dead, but kept rewinding to get the right one they wanted.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if someone got it right first time.
And 68%, no one got hurt.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so 68% managed to save, which I found really difficult. So I was
Yeah,
like,
I gave
oh.
up trying to make, Frank not get hurt. I was like, all right, whatever, screw him. It's only his leg. He'll heal.
Yeah, he'd be right. That's what I thought at the end. I was like, oh, wounded's fine. And he'll probably remember that as well, so he'll not be as keen to sort of meddle with you.
Yeah, well.
He calls you psycho,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
he
He
now
says,
knows Max is
"You're
a bad bitch
psycho."
now. He tried to kill him. She tried to shoot him, and she's injured him,
Yeah,
She's now
so
a
yeah.
bad mother hubber.
Don't mess with me. And then this was kind of what I thought was the coolest puzzle in the game. I like this bit.
Piecing it together on the board, yeah.
Yeah, we have to go and piece all the clues together to find out what the hell's going on.
I like that a lot.
And where everything is. It was a little bit tedious at points, but once you got the hang of it, it was all right. I kind of liked it.
There was only one particular bit where I was stuck, which was, I don't remember which bit I was piecing together. It might have been the location and time I was piecing together that I struggled a little bit with.
How did you get into Nathan's phone? Did you find the passcode?
I found the passcode.
Yeah, I didn't.
Really? How'd you get in?
No. The way I did it, I found the PUC code off the card, off his mobile card.
Oh, fair play.
So the phone locked out.
Yeah.
And then obviously I put the PUC code in, which unlocked the phone, and then I could get into his stuff.
But that was definitely one of the cooler bits of this game, piecing it together. Because you really did feel like a sleuth,
Yeah, and it was good.
I was curious where they got their little board from, though. The board they put everything on.
The big massive cork board suddenly appeared in Chloe's bedroom from God knows where.
Yeah.
It was probably in that garage.
Probably.
There's
It reminds me a bit from Family Guy where they time travel as well, actually. And they're piecing it together, and they say so Lewis is with him, and for some reason we have a whiteboard in our room now. It just that reminded me of that.
And then after that you go to the farm, don't you? Is it to the barn?
Yes, I believe.
So you go to
you find the dark room.
Because you figure out where the barn is. You go to the barn, and again, some puzzles ensue. You've got to you've got to move stuff around in the loft of the barn, don't you, to crash through the trap door or something.
Yes,
I'm trying to remember how it works.
You push. I think you tie a bit of rope to the hinge of the door, then you tie the other half to an engine, I believe, that's hung up top. It was like an engine or an anvil. It was probably an engine. You push it off, and then obviously gravity helps, and it opens.
Yeah. And then you there's a few photos and optional information stuff around, isn't there?
Yeah, I took one photo, I think I did.
Yeah, and you learn a lot more about the Prescotts.
Yes, you do.
And what they're up to. So, yeah. And then you have to get into the dark room. It's, again, a key coded lock.
I like that. I looked at it and thought, these buttons look a bit worn out. Wait.
Yeah, I didn't. I couldn't, because you can find the code as well, can't you?
Oh, can you?
Yeah, I'm sure that you can find the code.
I just guessed it from the worn buttons.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I think this was the only point I had to go and look at a walkthrough.
Really? So how did you find the code?
I'm trying to remember. It's in an earlier place.
All right.
I'm almost sure. I'm just having a look here. Just a minute. It's 542 was the code, but I'm sure it was the number was somewhere. Because I spent ages looking again at all the stuff. But I can't remember where the code is, but it is somewhere in something that happened earlier. I think it might be. Is it in? It's on a piece of paper. I'm sure it is.
Okay.
It's highlighted on a piece of paper that you have. But I didn't find it in the end. I just I'll just have a look. And then you go to so that happens. You find the dark room. It's all creepy. There's like photo equipment set up.
Yes, the dark room.
And you find photos of Kate. You find photos of Rachel. Rachel Amber, don't you?
And you also see an empty file with Victoria written on it.
Yeah, ready to go.
Yeah.
So obviously the next victim, which is what you suspect anyway. And then you
rush to school, don't you?
Yeah, you rush to go to the vortex to warn Victoria that
Warren, gets a little selfie out of it with you.
Yeah, which has great significance.
Do you notice the two moons as well?
Yes, there's a lot of weird stuff like that going on.
And then
because there's the end of episode, the beginning of episode. Is it the end of episode 3 or the beginning of episode 4 where there's the eclipse thing going on, the weird eclipse. Because the weird eclipse.
Ending of 3.
I think that was the ending of 3, wasn't it?
I think you noticed it when you were on a bus going to see Chloe.
Yes. There's some weird thing, isn't there? So anyway, then you have to get into the special bit.
So for me, So you got into the party, don't you? And I was on the list, so I just walked in.
You were fine. I had to sneak around the swimming pool and go in from the back way.
That's pretty cool.
So I had to sneak all the way around the pool, and you go past the band and all that sort of stuff.
But the moment you walk through, I think is the most awesomest bit in the entire game for me.
Yeah, and the music was just incredible, and I've got that downloaded.
Yeah, I have as well. Get well soon.
It's 28 minutes long.
Is it?
So you could have stayed in that part of the game for 28 minutes and not hear the same track twice.
Awesome. The song on my phone's only 4 minutes.
No, there's a whole mix. You know the whole mix?
Really?
Yeah. The whole mix.
I was there for quite a short amount of time, so I only heard one song.
No, the whole mix is 28 minutes long.
I'm on YouTube right now. I'm getting that up.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's on YouTube as well.
Awesome.
It's very, very cool. So yeah, 28-minute mix, and every track is excellent. It's a really cool mix as well.
But the reason I love this bit the most is because every character you've met so far, pretty much, is there, and you can speak to them and interact with them. And it was just really cool to interact with all those characters.
Yeah,
especially in an environment like this where there's alcohol and drugs flowing and stuff.
Yeah, I was talking to everybody.
I was.
Yeah, so it's kind of I thought follow this was horrible, but this bit was kind of a fun part of the game.
Yeah, the calm before the storm almost.
Yeah, because it was kind of fun. You were chatting.
And again,
to all the different...
Alyssa was there and needed help. This time she would have been hit by two guys fighting with little floats. You know those little float things that kids have?
Right.
Yeah. And
see, I don't think I saw any of those.
She gets whacked in. In my case, I said move a bit and she can get hit.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think she's in every episode at least once, just as the comic relief character.
And you talk to Victoria. Obviously, you don't find Nathan, because Chloe's obviously wants Nathan.
Yes.
So there's all that sort of stuff. You don't find... And also, at this point as well, I forgot about this, you go into the girls' toilets, don't you, into the changing rooms?
Yeah.
And there's some really bad graffiti about you.
Yeah, and some dodgy stuff was also going on in that toilet.
That's right. I
don't know if you went to the bottom of it, but there were some dodgy things going on in the bottom cubicle.
Because that's how I originally thought you got into the secret bit at the back, or the sort of exclusive bit. But obviously it wasn't. So yeah, there's that all happens. Then you speak to Victoria. And
how did you get into the exclusive bit? It's like the actual bit where Victoria is in.
Yeah, I said they had to sneak round the swimming pool.
Yes.
And go.
That was how you got in, right? Because
yeah, and you had to do a rewind time because someone keeps seeing you and going, you can't go back there or something like that, and you have to rewind time at that point.
I think it was either Dana or Brooke. They were drinking because they were supposed to be at the actual table where your name's on the list. So you go and actually tell Brooke or Dana, why aren't you there? Then they go and say she's with me, she's on the list, and then basically you make the person at the table look snotty.
There you go.
It was good.
So that happened, but it didn't happen for me because I didn't get friendly with her earlier. I mean, and that's going back to episode 1, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so it's interesting that something that you did in episode 1 has an effect in episode 4, which is kind of interesting.
But yes, Victoria, did she believe you?
No.
She did for me.
No.
I was nice
do you know why? I think this is an episode 1 thing.
Because I was nice to her when she got painted?
Yeah, I think so. I think because I made fun of her, that stopped her believing me.
Yeah, it was weird though, because I said something a little bit negative to her, but it wasn't F you, but it was close to that. And then it flipped instantly saying, you're a smart girl, Victoria, you should know better than this. Your photos are great. And stuff like that. Yeah, I did all of that stuff, but she still didn't believe me. She was like, sort of. So then you find out Nathan's gone, then Chloe comes back, and you have a chat with Mr. Jefferson, don't you? He kind of butts in and says, I'm ashamed you didn't give in a photo, Max.
So I'm trying to remember how we found out about the grave at the junkyard. How does that get found out?
I believe you go outside and you get a text from Nathan saying there'll be no evidence left. because yeah,
Yeah, but how do you find out it's at the junkyard? I can't remember how that happens.
I believe that was after you pieced it all together.
Right.
So, was it after the? I don't know if it was after the barn or not. It
Yeah.
was either the barn's first or second after finding the grave. It's
Yeah. So then
you find
you
Rachel
go
Amber
to,
in the junkyard,
you
deceased.
do. You basically go and you find a dead. You dig up a body.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to think how that plays out now.
I can hold on. I can look back at the video I made of that episode because I literally did what we did, except minutely about that episode. So I can literally go and check for us.
Yeah, because you go back to the junkyard, then you walk through, then you dig up Rachel,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm trying to think how you find out.
All right. So in the dark room, you find out her location. Well, you don't really find out, but Chloe knows. Like, I know where she is, and then you rush and find the body.
Right.
Yeah.
And then again, which was a bit of a jaw-dropping, shocking. I mean, had you any suspicion at this point about?
That was
about
no, not a single one.
Yeah. So Mr. Jefferson
Shoots Chloe.
shoots Chloe, and he's drugged you already because he injects you first,
Yep.
and then because he's injected you, you can't rewind time, and for all intents and purposes, Chloe's dead.
Yep.
I mean, like,
Nada,
properly dead.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the reveal of him, like the way they showed it, man. Oh man. So
It was good.
cool.
I mean, it's kind of interesting. I felt kind of satisfied as well that I blamed him for Kate's
Yeah.
attempted suicide at this point, because I was like,
Yeah.
I knew he was shifty, but I didn't really. I just blamed him because I thought, because I'd seen the. Well, the reason I blamed him is because I saw him being horrible to Kate. You know, that's why I blamed him. But I had no suspicion that he was the one.
No,
doing
I don't know a
what's
single
happening.
one.
Yeah, so. And then that obviously takes us into the final episode
Yes.
of the game. And I mean, when this episode finished, I was like, no way. You know, like, Chloe's dead, shit.
Yeah, like I was turning my mind of how the hell is Max gonna be okay? Because you wake
Yeah.
up in the dark room.
You do, and this is where it goes totally butterfly effect.
Yeah.
And also, a little bit girl with a dragon tattoo.
I still haven't seen that. I want to.
Yeah, it's good.
Is it good?
It's good, but yeah, very reminiscent of this sort of part of the game. Yeah, so it culminates in you having to do a lot of sort of toing and froing in photographs.
Yeah, my voice died then. By the end of the near the end, sorry, of the episode, I was a little confused where we were. If you know what I mean. So are we back
As
in
far
our
as
time or?
stuff go, yeah, because there was a lot of stuff went down, weren't there? You know, before you got to
Yeah,
that.
we've got a lot
sort
to
of-
talk about.
Yeah.
There's only really one key choice in this episode.
Do you know what I was a bit disappointed with? I feel like I would have been happier had they sort of, if Mr. Jefferson had the same voice. Does that make sense? Because he goes all creepy.
Yeah,
sort
like,
of
now
killer.
that you know that his teacher thing's a persona, he doesn't really keep it up, does he? It'd be more maniacal if he kept that voice.
Yeah, if he'd have just been like he was talking normal.
Yeah, that would be much more creepy.
Yeah, if he was just like very matter of fact about it all, you know. Well,
and he did fall into the cliche thing of, okay, I'll tell you my plan since you are in my grasp thing.
Yeah. It was a bit. I was a bit disappointed that they didn't just go with the just act it out as you've been acting the whole of the game. You know, just like you're still just the teacher.
But I'm guessing that was the voice direction of the team, not the voice actor's fault. That's my guess. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm absolutely sure you're right. But I'd have liked to have seen him just play it straight because I think that would have made it more interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it would have just been a bit more. It would have made you feel. I think it would have made him that much more creepier.
Definitely, because he's taking photos of you like everyone else, and also Victoria is there as well. I remember. I don't know if she's there the first time round. I don't think she is the first time round.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
because you go to and fro that place a couple of times. And what was his plan? I don't remember his plan. I think it was just to get
I
the
don't think
best.
there was.
I think it was just
I
to get
don't
the
think.
best shot possible. You know, he wants pure emotion, so the best emotion he
Yeah,
could get was
yeah. It
fear.
was just. He was just a psycho, basically, wasn't he? That
Yeah,
wanted to take pictures of girls at the sort of when the
it
skirts
was
and
all
stuff.
girls as well. There was never a dude involved.
Oh no, there was no dudes
And
because he was just
you
interested in
you
taking
find
them.
out obviously that Nathan was his pawn as well, and you find out how Rich Rama died as well.
Yeah, and also he killed Nathan. That's
Yeah,
why he's missing.
because
That's why Nathan missing.
all right, there are other things to say, but I'll try and keep it obviously concurrent.
Right, you start then.
About what?
Um,
Which bit?
about episode 5 then. Let's talk about the sort of in the dark room. Chloe obviously trying to go back in time by looking at the photos. She looks at the photos in a scrapbook, doesn't she?
Does yeah. Because I noticed that kind of by mistake. I went, oh, the scrapbook, and then looked at it, and then right, no, that could help. That could help. Because that's how you escape, isn't it?
Yes, that's how you escape the first time, don't you? And then you end up because it's the is the selfie with Warren, isn't it?
Yes, that's how you get back. But before then, oh yeah, so you do that, but it doesn't work. If I remember rightly, I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
perfectly. I don't want to get a bit wrong, so I'm trying to get it right.
I know. Well, there's chances we're going to get stuff wrong.
Yeah, all right. She emerges back in Jefferson's class, doesn't she? After the photo, remember?
Yeah.
So she time
Yeah.
travels really badly.
Yes, and you have this. Is that the point where you have the conversation with Jefferson and you have all these weird options?
Yeah. So
Because a bird flies into the window and kills itself.
yeah.
And then you talk to Jefferson, and I can't remember the options
Oh,
now. But
we've gone a bit far ahead because there's a bit of.
Is there a bit before that?
So you're trying to get out, obviously, and David comes, doesn't he? He comes.
Yeah, is that because you when you travel back the first time, you can warn
yeah.
him.
No, yeah, you can warn, can't you? The second time you go back to the classrooms when it's really weird.
Is that the second time? So the first time
First
you
time, yeah.
go back and you use your mobile phone, don't you? And you send a text. Is it a text message
'Cause
to
you
David?
literally go back to the beginning of episode 1 in the classroom.
That's right.
And yeah, you do send a
That's
text to
right.
David saying that
Because you find his number in the school brochure.
exactly.
There's like a school brochure thing, and you find his number because it's got useful contact details, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you say he is not the man he seems. And then you go and see him after class, obviously, like in episode 1, but you're snarky like. I think mine was everything comes to an end, Mr. Jefferson.
That's right, and you keep interrupting Victoria, don't you?
Yeah.
Because she's talking to him as well, and you keep on interrupting.
So then
and being
yeah. I don't remember if she go. Yeah, so she doesn't voluntarily go back. Time then takes her back to that bit.
Yeah, is this not? So that happens, and then it just plays out for quite a while, doesn't it? Because you're in the plane going to the. Is that the bit where you go into the everyday hero competition?
Well, you have to fix time first. So basically, if I remember correctly, what happened then is you have to help David because he finds the dark room.
Oh God, yes, that's right.
I rewound so many times.
Yes, I did before I got that right. Yeah, because you have to. Yeah, you have to kick stuff, and then you have to move. You have to keep warning him at different points, and each time I warned him, it was the wrong point, so he kept getting killed.
In one of the times you go back as well, Victoria is there, so she gets taken in one of those timelines. Because there are multiple timelines in this episode, aren't there?
Yeah, there are, and
that's why we're struggling a bit here.
I know, because there were so many things going on.
Yeah,
that's right. And what was also interesting, each time David got killed in mine, I was like, oh God, it's like. And he was at a different point, so there was different animations for every time he got killed.
He got shot in many different places of the room.
He did. Yeah. He did.
Like I warned about the gun. I warned about. I warned him many times actually.
Yeah.
Many times.
Eventually, I did it though. Eventually, I did it.
It took me a long time.
And then when Jefferson gets killed, because does he kill Jefferson? I'm trying to remember whether he kills him or whether he just takes him into custody and ties him up. He just ties him up, doesn't he?
There's a choice where so basically he's asking if you're okay. Then he says, what about Chloe? If you say she's dead, he will shoot Jefferson.
Jefferson.
I lied because I knew I was going to go and fix time. So I was like, no, she's just
Yeah,
tired
I did.
in a motel.
I did. I lied as well, so he didn't, and I didn't. Yeah, I didn't rewind. I just let him.
But my
sort of
original
not
choice was telling the truth.
Right,
So I
and
did
then you
rewind.
saw the shoot.
I did rewinding. Stick to my, not stick to my guns.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that all happened. Then we got one of the photo erasing things being replaced by other stuff.
Well, actually, not yet, because you have to.
Should we not?
You have to go and find Warren. Remember? You have to go and find Warren because he has the photo of you and Chloe on that night.
Oh God, yes, you're right.
And there's an amazing bit in the car where Nathan calls you and says, "I'm sorry, Max. He's coming after me now."
That's
and
right.
then you.
That's right.
And
yeah.
the song, I got that song on my phone. It's an amazing song that plays. So you go.
Yeah.
So you have to navigate through the destruction that this hurricane has caused, or at least part of it has caused. I don't think it's fully hit yet, but you know the damage is starting to happen.
No, are we not jumping ahead a bit there? Because we've not been to the Everyday Hero competition yet.
I swear it's afterwards.
I thought that was before this bit.
Shit.
I don't know. I'm confused about you. It was a confusing episode, to be honest.
It really was. I'm trying to look at my photos, and you don't do anything pivotal there.
No.
No.
Because you go back in time. You go back to the room quite a few times, don't you?
Really do. I have footage of it, actually. I could literally look at the footage if you want. Because I record anything I play. I record anything I play. Just for references.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that you have to go. You have to go back. I'm sure you go to the Everyday Hero competition after Jefferson gets arrested. You then go back. You go to the Everyday Hero competition because
I should have done this at the start. I have footage of all 5 episodes. I should have done this from the start.
Yeah, because you wake up, don't you, on the plane, and the principal's next to you.
Indeed, right. I'm going through.
Because then you go, and then you have all this sort of you're mingling.
Yeah, so you time travel once, and you go back to where it's not weird.
That's right. Then you obviously find out you warn David. He comes, you get saved.
Yes, after the first time, you do go to the Everyday Heroes competition because.
Yeah, I thought you did.
You're right.
Because you wake up with the principal on the plane, and you're just chitty chatting. He says he doesn't like flying and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Everyday Hero competition. I found this bit quite interesting because you realise you have to go into your photo that you won the competition with to get back to the timeline, where you then go and find Warren, don't you?
Indeed. And there are people there saying, like, is this your art? Wow, you look good. You know, this is a great
Yeah, and every time you're trying to focus on, because you have to do the weird focusing thing, every time you're focusing on the pitch, someone keeps interrupting you. People, like all the people looking at it, keep interrupting you, don't you, and putting you off.
Exactly. So what you do is you tear that photo up. We're definitely telling the truth here, people, because I'm looking at my footage. I'm looking literally right now on my screen. Max is tearing up her photo.
That's right. She tears up the winning photograph, so you can't win the competition, which you think is going to make stuff right.
But you're back.
But you're back, aren't you? Yeah.
Exactly, you're back. And this is the instance where David finds you. He's going to inject you, Jefferson is, but then there's a knock and he realizes someone's coming. And alright, so I'm going to see how long it took me to get this bit right. So I'm currently on 8 minutes 20 seconds. How long did it take me to get it right? Yeah. Let's have a look. How long did it take me to get it right? It took me 12 minutes to get this right. It took me 12 minutes. So what you do is you take Jefferson's car and then you go to the destruction that is Arcadia Bay.
That's right, and you have to go and find
Warren, because he has the photo that he took.
He's in the diner, isn't he?
Yes.
He's like holed up in the diner. So you do all that. You drive through the storm. You get to the town, and it's horrible. I mean, people are dying.
This is where all the minor choices happens. This is where all the little minor choices happen.
Yeah, and this is where obviously if you had spoke to the woman, this is where she either lives or dies.
So first of all, there's the trucker.
Yeah.
I obviously helped them out. The trucker.
Yeah, and then there's is it Alyssa again in the window?
Yeah, I helped her then.
Yeah, I saved her.
It took her a couple of attempts though, of helping, since she was like, "I'm not moving. Whenever you're there, I get in trouble." You know. There's
The fish. There was a fisherman in the like shop or cafe or whatever it was.
Yeah, he died first time because I didn't even notice him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, no, I didn't, and he gets electrocuted, and then I realised what you got to do. You turn it off, go to him, talk him, then you rewind time, then you go and turn off the electric through the window, all that sort of jive. So I did all that. Obviously, then we save Alyssa. Then you get to the
there was
cafe.
someone else called Evan who I saved apparently.
Oh, I don't remember that.
No idea. But yeah, then there's the diner, which it blew up.
Which blows up.
Yeah.
And it took a while to figure out why. I couldn't figure out why it was blowing up.
The ironic thing was, I was looking at the storm, like, wow, I'm going to take a screenshot of that from my Xbox background. And then, before I could click Y to take a screenshot, it blew up.
Yeah.
A bit rude. But yeah, you just put sand down, don't you? You stop the trail by putting sand down.
Yes, that's exactly what you do.
I'm just looking at the footage right now. Yeah, you put sand down.
So then you go and see War, and then you finally you have a bit of a conversation with him saying about how much you care about.
There's Joyce, Frank, and Warren inside the diner.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I had a little bit of an issue with this because it felt like it was just trying to cover up character plots, and like Frank was uncharacteristically nice to me.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't kill him though. To be fair, it could have been worse.
Yeah, true. I wonder what it would have been like if we did pop Frank. It would have been just Joyce and Warren, probably.
So that all happens.
Oh, did you convince Joyce that David is a good guy?
Yes, I think I did.
Yeah, I did. And I also told the truth about Rachel to Frank that she is, dead.
Yeah, because this was the only episode where there weren't really any percentage for any choices you made. Apart from one.
Yeah, there isn't. There's no percentages on my phone. Maybe because we played on quite close to when it came out, but I swear the other episodes had percentages even then.
Oh yeah, no, this only had one percentage at the end.
Yeah.
For one major choice.
Which we'll of course get to. Don't you worry.
Which we'll get to. So then it goes very weird.
Before that, Warren, did you give him what he wanted?
What did he want? I can't remember.
So before you time travel, you can either hug him, ignore him, or kiss him.
I think I kissed him.
Yeah, I did.
I think I kissed him.
Yeah, and Max says for luck. And it was kind of sweet.
Yeah, it was. Then you go into the selfie.
You do indeed.
To go back before Chloe was killed.
You have to explain to her quite quickly everything that happened to you.
Yeah, and obviously that about Jefferson and etc.
While all this is happening as well, this time traveling, the world around you gets more and more distorted.
Yeah, it does. It's just shit. I mean, shit is going down.
So, for example, I'm looking at the bit right now with Max and Chloe. The entire background is red. And the world around her is crumbling.
So it goes to shit. And I have mixed feelings about the final episode because then you have all the sort of walking to because I'm trying to remember how you end up in the walking to the lighthouse bit.
I'm literally getting up there
because you have that weird bit in the dormitory where it's like PT. Where you have to pick the right rooms and you keep walking through. Every time you walk through a door, you just end up at the beginning of the dormitories again. Right.
So after you've spoken to Chloe at the school, you go to the so it fades out. It literally fades away, and then the photo bits happen. So Chloe is no longer dead from Jefferson being shot. It's Jefferson.
That's right.
It's you going to David. The fight between David and Jefferson becomes them with the police coming in and stopping the dark room. The bit with you and Max, the bit where you're Max in the tornado bit, is just changed to you and Chloe walking towards the big tornado.
Right.
And then it looks like she passed out and then is back. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you end up.
How's it? Yeah, I see the real Max is back. How was your time trip, dude? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Chloe knows you were time tripping.
So then you do the weird dormitory thing. That all happens.
Yeah, you pass out, I believe.
Yeah, but then I'm trying to remember how you end up at the lighthouse. Because you end up walking.
Hold up. I'm just So you get a major nosebleed.
Yeah.
You pass out, and then you wake up back in the classroom again. Except this one, it's weird because you're really cool. Yeah,
that's where you say where you say to Jefferson that you can either, you're really cool. I like the way you take your pictures and all that sort of stuff.
I'm going to see what I said.
You sort of compliment his psycho-ness.
Yeah, I tried to rewind time because I was like, what? No, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, because none of the options were particularly nice ones. I can't remember what were the options. What were
I'm gonna,
they? Have you got those?
I'll find out for you, good sir. I'm walking up with Jefferson right now. I just
Yeah,
wanted to know if you'd like to spend the rest of your life in my dark room.
yeah,
Your purity inspires me so much. We could be so happy together. It's creepy,
yeah.
man. It's creepy.
I'm trying to remember which one I chose.
I was giving you the. All right, I love you, Mr. Jefferson. Our dark room. My selfies are shit. Thanks for killing Chloe.
I think I said I love our dark room. I think that's what I said to him.
Oh, that's creepy.
I know.
I said my selfies are shit
Yeah, I think that's what
because
I
that was the
chose.
least creepy.
Yeah.
I think that was the least creepy one. Saying my
And
selfies
then when
suck.
you and then is it when you walk out of the classroom you end up on the going towards the lighthouse? Is that where
I
that
believe so.
happens?
I'm just trying to. I want to skip ahead so we don't get anything wrong. I
Yeah.
don't want to.
And then what's interesting about that part of the game is it has all the major scenes in the game playing out, doesn't it, along the path?
You open the door for the classroom and you're stuck in a hallway, and you have to open a lot of doors. Because remember, you see Kate.
Oh, was this the bit? Was this the bit where you're in the
For me,
dormitories?
Kate is outside her door, mourning herself.
Yeah, this is where the bit with the weird dormitory thing where
Yeah,
you
and then
slide.
you end up playing as Victoria for a point. It's weird. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Kate is saying, "How could you let me die? You're the only person I trusted."
I see. I didn't get that obviously because she didn't in mine.
Yeah, yeah. I managed to get out quite quickly because I used the map
Right.
by the dormitory
Yeah, and
door.
then you end up in the toilet of the diner, don't you?
Yes, with a lot of
And you have
numbers on the
to.
wall.
Yeah, this one I found out really easy. I just looked in the mirror and saw there was only one number still left for the code.
Oh, I didn't. It took me a couple minutes to realise that.
No,
A bit slow.
that was one of the puzzles I worked out really quickly.
Also, time rewinds as well when you're. So you know the beginning scene when you're walking through the hallway.
Yeah.
That happens again, but in reverse.
Right.
Except Max is the only one in normal constructive time.
Cool.
And also and also all the text was in reverse as well, which is pretty cool.
That's right. It was very well done that
Yeah.
bit. I've got to say. So that all happens, and you end up on the cliff top. Then you do all the walking forward stuff.
Yeah, you do. You're pretty much Snake for a couple minutes while hiding.
But it's cool. I mean, it reminded me a lot of Mass Effect.
Yeah, yeah. When you're playing as Joker, I believe. Is that
No,
the bit you're thinking of?
no. I'm thinking of the bit in Mass Effect where at the end of it, you have to go and talk to everybody, and then
Oh,
sort
that
of do,
bit. Right, I got you. I know what you're on about.
where this is kind of like you're sort of just seeing all the major scenes that you did in the game playing
I
out.
thought you were on
before,
about
you
the
know.
bit. I thought you were referencing the Joker like sneaking around bit compared to Max sneaking.
No, I hated that. Awful. So then you get to what I think was the worst part of the game. I really hated this bit where you have to sneak around and avoid the torchlights of all the Mr. Jeffersons and Nathans.
Oh, Frank's as well.
And Franks. And I hate it. And in the end, I kind of, because there was an optional collect the bottle things again.
Really? What I did to get around it, I just clung to the edge and walked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And
and there's a bottle. Yeah. Oh yeah, there is.
I ignored all the bottles. In the end, I was like, oh, screw the bottles.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Max says, "Oh joy." I went, "Oh, screw that."
Yeah, and then you can sit down on the bench outside the lighthouse.
And then you're in a snow globe watching
Yeah.
when you. Oh yeah, I'm watching it now.
When the dad gets the keys to the car and goes to pick up Joyce. Yeah, that was weird. That was a very weird bit. I kept thinking that Chloe was going to come up and pick up the snow globe and see me inside or something.
Yeah. This is where the game really became confusing of what you were doing.
Yeah.
You got text as well while you were in that bit.
You did?
William texted you. That's the name of Chloe's dad, William. Hey Max.
Yeah.
Would you say hi to Chloe and Joyce? Don't forget to remind them that you let me die.
Yeah, horrible. There was horrible
Yeah.
bits. So that all happens, and then you go into the lighthouse and you walk to the top, don't you?
Did you read any more of the text that you got? Because literally,
I don't know whether I did.
so Samuel texts you, whoever that is. Samuel was the janitor, I think. Rachel texts you. Pompidou, the dog, texts you. Nathan does, and Joyce does.
Right. See, I
creepy.
remember the dog. The dog texting me was weird.
Bitch, do not mess with Frank or me. You got a snack.
Very odd.
Yeah, it's weird. Like Nathan says he loves your photos. It's really weird, that bit.
It was very odd. And then, how do you end up? You walk into the lighthouse, don't you? Is that what happens? I'm trying to
So
remember
right now, I'm really sorry about this, people. It's not very professional, but oh well.
No, but he's remembering. There's so much happens in that last episode.
So
of
you
the game.
fade out, and you're back in the dark room again. But now you're in your pajamas for some reason.
Oh God, yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's.
I'm trying to remember
And
how
that's where you have like a weird thing of so Chloe and Victoria are together for some
Oh God,
reason.
that's right. And they're telling you weird. They tell you some weird
Yeah,
stuff.
holy shit, Warren. Max
And then they
is trying
start
to
having
play
a
us both.
snog, don't they? Don't they start snogging
Yeah.
or something?
Warren is like with Chloe right now. When she's not trying to hook up with both of us, I only want to go out with you, Chloe. It's creepy as hell, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's creepy watching it back.
So I'm trying to remember how you get to the very end of the game. So what happens then?
Wow,
Trying to
this bit in the
remember
dark room lasts a long time, Jesus.
Yeah,
So
it does.
then there's the bit with the codes in the toilet. That's that bit.
Oh, so that's when that happens.
Yeah, it's quite late. So yeah, I have to skip ahead. It took me a couple minutes of my footage. I was quite slow. Let it load. Then you're in a diner
Yeah.
with yourself. So every character you've met pretty much is in that diner, and then there's
That's-
you. You're speaking to yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how it turns out actually.
Yeah, you go. Don't you end up in the mall with like Max and with Chloe? You're in the shopping mall or something. Just sort of chat.
Currently, I'm looking at Max speaking to herself in the diner.
Yeah.
She's asking her other self for help. Can you get me out of here?
That's right. And then her other self is horrible to her or
Yeah.
something. Riley.
It's like a yin and yang almost.
But then,
I'm skipping ahead.
yeah, skip ahead. But I'm sure you end up in the shopping mall.
This is the bit. Now this is the bit where you see everything that's happened. You're on like a straight path, and you see everything that happens, and you have
That's
voiceover.
where that all happens. Jesus Christ!
it's-
I can't.
It might sound like we're messing up people, but this episode really is confusing. And like, if it weren't for this
We should
footage,
probably not
we'd be
played
struggling
it.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you see all the memories and stuff.
So during that path, that's when you walk up to the lighthouse.
Yes, and see all the
And
memories.
that's at the end. And now here comes the end, the final battle, if you'd say.
The final. Well, there's not a lot happens, is there? Really,
Well,
it's kind of
It's a battle with
you have
yourself.
you have a big sort of conversation with Chloe.
Yes. Basically, you work out that storm is you. You're the
Yeah.
reason the storm happens. You changed fate and destiny so much that you did alter the course of time.
Yeah.
So
You can either. So is it? I'm trying to remember how you get. Oh, because you have the photo of the butterfly from the very beginning of the game, don't you?
yes. So this gives the ultimatum of kill Chloe. You know, so let Nathan kill Chloe at the start of the game. So basically, everything you did was a waste, or you and Chloe leave together.
And sort of sacrifice Arcadia Bay to the storm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was obviously, as far as the game went, this was
Right.
a 55% to 45%.
First of all,
sacrifice
I went on a Life
to
is Strange forums afterwards, and people in episode 1 guessed the ending. So, I don't know if that's a sign that they were crazy or if they were just smart.
Or just saying it.
Yeah, but
Because I didn't guess this at all.
I didn't.
But I thought it was cool. So but I'd have liked to have seen a few more different endings.
yeah,
Rather
it's
than
very
straight-
cookie cutter, one or the other.
Yeah. One of the. So which did you go with? Because this is the end, I guess. What did you do?
I felt that the universe just didn't want Chloe to exist. The amount of times we had to save her,
and the amount of times she died.
Chloe was also ready for it.
Yeah.
She explicitly said that, you know, this universe will be better without me. Just please remember me, Max. So, I'm afraid Chloe is dead in my ending.
And she did in mine. And I'll be honest with you, and this sounds awful, but I think that was the better ending from
Yeah, I've
having.
seen the ending of the Arcadia Bay being
The
destroyed.
Arcadia
All you
Bay
do is drive away together.
Yeah. Whereas in the Chloe one, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
You had like a funeral, people, and you had like
Yeah.
everyone who knew her coming to mourn her. Even Frank and the dog came to mourn her.
Yeah.
For some reason, Warren and Kate came too, but I guess they're just friends of Max.
Yeah.
And the family did as well, obviously. You never see your family, Max's family, do you? You get text a couple times.
No, you don't.
You get text
That's
a couple
weird.
times.
Yeah, you never go to your own house, do you?
I think you live there, a bit like, you know, going to university, you live there.
Yeah. So you never see your parents or anything like that.
But yeah,
You see-
personally, I
How did you feel about the ending? Then? You know?
I got annoyed when it was literally one or the other. Because I felt like I could have just shown people episode 5, and that's Life is Strange. You know? I kind of felt like I could show someone episode 5 and they could get the story. I feel. Personally.
And it is a weird scenario because you go back to the very beginning, and obviously that's a whole clean slate with no butterfly effects or anything.
Yeah.
And, and it's horrible. I mean, because you just sit down and let her die, don't you?
You don't see any of it either. It's just a slowly panning zoom shot into Max. That's all there is.
Yeah. Horrible. I mean, it was horrible.
Definitely.
No doubt. And obviously Jefferson still gets arrested.
Yeah. So it is... I believe that's more of a good ending.
It is a good ending, but it's a horrible ending.
I'm a little confused, though, because I've seen so many thumbnails of Max and Chloe kissing if you sacrifice Arcadia Bay. Is that true?
I have no idea. I mean, I didn't sacrifice Arcadia Bay, so I don't know. I did have a quick look at it on YouTube and saw them driving off together.
So there isn't... what happens with the Arcadia Bay ending?
I have no idea. I mean, all I know is that obviously you sacrifice the whole town, so everybody in the town dies instead.
Well, we don't. Do we explicitly know they're all dead? Do we?
I assume. Well, he says either save Arcadia Bay or sacrifice Chloe. So I'm guessing if you sacrifice Arcadia Bay, then presumably everybody dies. Which is why I didn't do it, because I thought, one person as opposed to a whole town.
So what was the most popular choice?
Sacrifice Chloe.
Really?
Only by 10%. Yeah, 10% in it.
You made a good ending where people, it's quite close. You made it quite good.
Yeah, where it doesn't swing one way or the other.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like...
A bit like, that reminds me of Carly and Doug in The Walking Dead. Because there was a big margin of difference between who liked who. I remember it was like 83 to Carly and 17 to Doug, I remember.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they want the ones where it's very close to each other.
Yeah. I'm just on YouTube now. I want to see what's different, like what actually happens.
So that was kind of it. I mean, overall as a game, I was satisfied. I did feel like it was good. I think it was well written. I thought it was interesting. I don't mind. I mean, a lot of people have been wondering that it was like the Mass Effect 3 ending.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
Nothing mattered. It doesn't matter. You might as well not have bothered because all that stuff you didn't have any bearing on the end of the game at the end. Unless you, like I said, you look at the multiverse theory where all that shit happens.
If you're listening and are a bit curious, look up Life is Strange theories because there are a lot of theories about this game.
Yeah, so all that shit went down anyway. It just that unfortunate. And like you said, there's no clarity on where she got her time manipulating powers from.
Do you mind that, though?
Have them? No, I don't. I mean, but the other thing I asked myself is, does she still have them?
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Has she still got those powers, or is that just, when she lets Chloe die, does that cancel out the fact that she had them in the first place?
Okay, so from what I'm saying, they just hug. So there's none of this fan art rubbish. I'm saying.
No, I don't think they just hug and drive away, and that's kind of it. It's screw you, town.
Yeah, it's like a new beginning, I guess, which is nice.
Yeah,
but
I think the only thing I would say is, we obviously made a lot of different choices, and they did have effects on the game as a whole. But obviously, that final choice doesn't matter what you did in the game up to that point. You still get the same one choice at the very end.
Yeah, I feel like the only game that has so recently I finished Tales of the Borderlands. Sorry, from the Borderlands.
Yeah, I'm playing that at the moment. I like it.
Because of the choices I made, the actual ending wasn't different, but the build-up to it was different than what other people had, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, and I guess this is the same in a way, because obviously stuff is different, obviously, because when you get to the diner, if you let Frank get killed, he won't be there.
Yeah, very true.
So there will be those sorts of things, like the hobo lady, I didn't talk to and warn her, so she ends up dead in mine.
Mm-hmm.
And all those sorts of things. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, overall, it's still kind of up there as my potential game of the year.
It's definitely up there for potential game of the year for me.
Yeah, and I think overall they did it. I mean, Don't Nod did a great job, and I'm excited to see what comes next from their studio. So all's good. And I guess that's it. So I guess thank you, Antonio.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to finally speak about this game to someone since. It's big on. It's quite. It got a cult following. I think this game has now. It's got quite a big following. I think.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, we both think they did a great job. So,
hold
well
on.
done.
They do kiss apparently.
Oh, they do kiss.
There you
Oh,
go. Is everyone happy now?
There you go. They kissed. So thank you, Antonio. Thank you for everybody who's listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If we rambled on a bit, we're sorry about that.
Yeah, but it's a good game. We need to discuss as much as we could, really.
Yeah, and we're sorry that we may have confused you at certain points with the timelines, but it was quite, especially that final episode was kind of confusing with all the toing and throwing and butterfly effect stuff going on. So, but yeah, thank you very much for everyone listening, and thank you again, Antonio, for joining me to do that. And yeah, we'll speak to you soon, and we'll see you soon, and you'll hear us soon, and who knows, all that stuff. So I guess bye.
Subscribe to me.
Bye.
So I walked into the hay, and a million dirty waves. Now I see you lying there, like a lilac losing air. Black rocks on the shoreline side, still dead summer I cannot bear. So I wipe the sand from my eyes. It's the Spanish Sahara, the place that you'd wanna leave the horror here. Forget the horror here. Forget the horror here. Leave it all down here. It's future rust and it's future dust. Forget the horror here. Forget the horror here. Leave it all down here. It's future rust and